Where you walk, what you say, when you talk, where you go, where you walk, what you say, when you talk.
It's a hungry world out there, with everybody scrambling to get a share. Wolves in sheep clothing, birds of prey waiting to swoop down on you, and there's no telling what they'll do. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. Where you go when you're walking, what you say when you're talking, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful, careful. I say we have to prepare to meet the challenges of life without fear. Greed and jealousy, hatred and envy, man, you have to move with care.
Good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, Petit Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, and every one of you listening in Radio Land. I am CJ, and this is Real FM 91.9 and 91.5, broadcasting from Main Street Cities in historic St. Patrick. Good morning. Good morning. Annette? Good morning. Annette?
What you say, when you talk, where you go, where you walk, what you say, when you talk.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good, good. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Hallelujah. Father, this morning we are indeed grateful to you for another day. We want to say all honor, all glory, all praise belongs to you. O Lord, our God, how majestic is your name in all the earth. We magnify your name. We praise your name. We extol you with praises and thanksgiving, Lord. So this morning, God, we are indeed thankful for the very fact that we are alive, we can move in you, we can live, we can have our being, because God, we recognize apart from you, Lord, we can do nothing, Lord. And God, even as we come this morning, you see a broken and a contrite heart, you will not despise. Even as we come in your presence this morning, we are so mindful of our sinful nature, how many times we miss the mark, we fall short, oh God, because you said all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. So even as we come before your divine throne this morning, that access and that liberty you have given us, that we can come directly to you. We don't have to go to a priest, a pastor, or a mediator, because you are the one mediator between God and man, Jesus Christ the righteous. And we can come boldly before you and express our hearts to you and our desires, Lord. And even as we come this morning, we must say, without a shadow of a doubt, Lord, I have sinned against you. I have sinned in thought, a word, and deed, and in my what I fail to do, those the good things sometimes we know we're supposed to be doing. And sometimes, Lord, we always choose to do what is wrong at most of the time. And we know it is because of sin. Even the Apostle Paul said, "Oh, wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from this body of sin?" With my mind, I want to please God, but the flesh is always there. So, God, this morning as we come, we pray for a broken and a contrite heart, Lord. You say you would not despise. So we ask for forgiveness. We ask for cleansing. Even as I stand on behalf of our people, Lord, we pray that, Lord, you would forgive us, Lord, for our sins and trespasses and all the wrong things that we have done. and willfully done. And sometimes we do it by not even consciously aware that we sin against you. And God, we thank you. The beautiful thing about it is, God, you never get weary hearing us say, Lord, I'm sorry. Lord, forgive me. Lord, I have fallen short. And God, you said when we come to you and we bring our burdens to you and we confess our sins, you say you are faithful. You are just to forgive us and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. So we pray, Lord, this morning, you will clean our hearts from all sin and unrighteousness, Lord. So even as we come before you this morning, we can say, Lord, thank you for your goodness. Thank you for your mercies. Thank you for a land where we have peace. We can awake this morning to a beautiful sunrise, sunshine, Lord. We are not in poverty. Even though they say we are in poverty, Lord, we see, Lord, every day as we go around. Look at the amount of mangoes on the tree, the plums, and so many things are coming. All the fruits, all the abundance of of fruits and vegetable you have given us to enjoy. Even at this time, we see the rainy season has start, and God, we can see everybody want to head to the land because we're expecting a bountiful spillover of what you would have given us. We sow a seed and we're able to reap in the end, oh God. And help us to know it is because of your goodness. It's because of your mercies that we're not torn apart by war, by hunger, by famine, by disaster. Sometimes we boast our chest and say God is a Grenadian God. And we want you to be a Grenadian God because God, we want you to be always having your hands over us, your presence to always go before us as a nation. Even when the children of Israel was going up, they say, except you go with us, we cannot go, Lord. Except you build a house, the house will not be good. But except you keep the city, you watch those that wake it up, they wake it up in vain. And God, is a vain thing for us not to give you praise. It's a vain thing for us not to recognize how much you blessed us and how much you have given us and how much, God, you want to pour into our lives and into our to our nation and into our families, into our villages, into our parishes. Oh God, you're just waiting upon us. It is that seek the Lord shall not want any good thing. And you see that trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not unto your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him and he's going to direct your path. How much time, Lord, you want to give us season of refreshing, season of plentiful, season of bountiful? You just want to expand our borders, Lord. And God, we just want to ask you to have your way, Lord. Help us to change our ways. Help us to turn from our ways. Your word says our ways are wicked. And it is true. Sometimes the heart of man is deceitful and desperately wicked above all things. You say, who can know it? It's only you, God, that can know it. You know the heart. You try our range. You know every thought that we think. And even when our thoughts are not towards you, your thoughts are always towards us. You say, where could we go from your presence? If we go into heaven, you're there. If we make our bed in the pit, in the bottomless pit of the sea, you are there. Sometimes when people die, they say, well, just cremate my body and spread the ashes all around. But God, even these little ashes, every little details, you can bring it together. That shows how wonderful you are, how powerful you are, Almighty. So we cannot hide from you, oh God, this morning. And even as I think of the story of Zacchaeus, when he ran ahead and he go up in the tree, he heard that you were passing by, and he wanted to see you. And even when you came to that spot where Zacchaeus was, this little man of a small stature, you look up in the tree and say, Zacchaeus, come down. For I'm going to your house of tea. And I guess Zacchaeus almost fell out of the tree because one, how did this man know my name? And that tells us that He knows everything about us, even the things that we do in the darkest hour and in the secret place, in the darkness, oh God, because men like darkness rather than light, because the Bible says their deeds are wicked. They don't want to come to the light, lest that their deeds be manifest. But God, even the things that are sown in the darkness, you're able to manifest it and make it known. So there's nothing hidden from you, oh God. And you always say in your word, be sure our sins will find us out. We cannot hide from you. So, God, this morning I pray that you would come bold before you. You come open, Lord, and say, Lord, be merciful to me, a sinner. I need you. I need your help. Many of us are struggling with depression. We are struggling with stress. We are struggling with so many different issues. And you just saying to us, cast your cares upon me because I care for you. Lay down the burdens and the stress and the hatred, the bitterness, the envy, the evil that is within us, oh God, because God, you know us. You know who I am. You know my name. And God, you call me by my name. And it's the same thing that applies to each and every one of us. We cannot hide from you this morning. So God help us this morning. I just pray my heart, our heart will be ready to say, Lord, be merciful to me. Forgive me where I've wronged someone. And there might be persons that you have been carrying in your hearts for years and years. Families have so many issues. There's so many different things. And persons not even willing to say that you just have to ask you, Lord, to forgive us when they come and to help us. We must be willing to forgive each other, even as our Father say, forgive us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And there's nothing to temptation but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. Let us not just repeat these words, but God help us in our hearts of heart. We just will just free ourselves of all these burdens, all this stress, all the anxiety. Sometimes we're carrying somebody in our chest for years, a brother or sister. Oh God, let this morning be a morning where we can say, Lord, I need you to forgive me. And I need to offer forgiveness. I need to offer restitution. Maybe I would have done something wrong. Help me to restore it. Even when Zacchaeus came, he said, Lord, I've stolen from these men. I'll give them back 4 times the amount I have stolen from them. And Jesus, you said to them, this day is salvation come to your house because you're a son of Abraham. He recognized his error and his wrongdoing, and he was able to say, let me make restitution. God may speak to some heart today. I mean, somebody for years you have not been speaking to, and you have not some brother, it could be a family member. So many things are causing tumult among families, among villagers, amongst communities. This morning, Pastor God, I'm just asking you to pass by every village this morning, every parish, and God, you speak peace in our nations, peace over our lives, speak peace over those in authority, or they might be in wars, and there might be, so many things, God, today. We just ask you to help us to release ourselves by the power of the Holy Ghost, Lord. This morning, Lord, I want to pray for our children in a special way, even those who are facing their exam on Thursday and Friday. Lord, you haven't given them a spirit of fear. Some of them might be nervous, but Lord, I pray for strength today. I pray that you relieve that fear. I pray that, God, they will be well prepared and they will be well. Pray over them that they'll be able to go out and do their exam. I pray healing over them, that they will not be sick. Those who are doing their CXC Cape and other university exams and other things this week. God, I pray for wisdom for them. I pray that you'll help them to really do the hard work now so that in the end they'll be able to enjoy the benefit of getting a resounding success. So God, this morning, continue to watch over our nation, watch over our teachers, watch over our principal, watch over our government, every sector of our society this morning. Watch over CJ today, if not she deliberate on our program. I don't know what the topic is, but I pray it will be something that will encourage us and strengthen us and bless someone in the nation today. I give you all the praise, all the thanks, and I give you worship, Lord, this morning. In Jesus' name, I give you thanksgiving. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Good morning again, and how are you?
Oh, good. So the CJ.
How
Just
are you? Are you hearing me?
good. Yes, I'm hearing you. I'm
Oh, okay.
blessed.
So for a moment, I thought,
Very
no,
good.
she did not hear me. How was your long weekend?
It was good. I stayed home. I didn't do anything yesterday. Well, I did some housework, some things I'm trying to do, get
Yeah, I
home
think.
done. I did some. I didn't go anywhere. So I was just
So
more
you
of
and I had the same kind of weekend.
a
I stayed at
relaxing
home
time.
too.
Now I
Yes,
was
yes.
relaxing and walking time.
How do you do both?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Okay, bye bye.
Where you go? Where you walk? What you say? When you talk? Where you go? Where you walk? What you say? When you talk? Do 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 do.
hungry world out there, with everybody scrambling to get a share. Wolves in sheep clothing, birds of prey waiting to swoop down on you, and there's no telling what they'll do. You gotta be careful.
It is a beautiful Tuesday morning. It is Mental Health Tuesday today, 2nd of May, 2023. Man, it is flying like it has the wings of an eagle. There is no time left for anything, so people, whatever you have to do, get it done, because time right now is waiting on no man. Let me say good morning to Evan Roberts, Faithlyn Halley Douglas, Christine Otley, Anne-Marie Celestine Grant, Veronica Edwards, and Andrea Alexander. These are the ones that are online right now saying good morning. Thank you for checking in. Let me say good morning to everyone that's listening on terrestrial radio, whether you're listening to TuneIn or anywhere, any avenue that you're listening on. Good morning, and thank you for checking in with Real FM.
I say we have to prepare to meet the challenges of life without fear. Greed and jealousy, hatred and envy, man, you.
It is said, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Therefore, the authenticity of the beverage can only be acquired in the taste. A taste which is original to Antoine de Beauregard Industries and comes from a combination of spices and local rum, which can hold its own all over the world. Woodman, a strength which speaks for itself. A taste which stands out from the rest, bottled with care, which speaks to perfection. Try Woodman today and be stunned by a flavor as never before. Let your palate savor that which is produced locally. Do not be deterred by substandard products. Our taste speaks volumes and sets us apart from the competition. You will be satisfied with every sip of our product. Say rum, say Woodman, feel satisfaction. Now that's quality.
The first word when you speak about furniture is classic. Yes, at Classic Furniture, they design and make the best in local furniture. All their products are made from the finest local wood available on island. You think it, they design it, and make it to your expectations. The highest standards at the best possible price, and they also provide higher purchase for you, their valued customers. Located on Ben Jones Street in Grenville, with their factory at Chantimel in St. Patrick. That's where you need to visit when looking for products made of the finest local wood. They deliver and install items at no extra cost. Your satisfaction is their mission. The extra step is taken to ensure their customers are completely satisfied. They do doors and finished kitchens, supplies mattresses, and restores antique pieces to look like the first day they were made. Hey, give us a call on 442-4645 and 442-9726. Classic Furniture, Grenada's homegrown furniture producers.
Step inside. Immerse yourself in colors that come alive.
Color by Sissons.
Let your imagination run wild. Surround yourself in a world of color.
Color by Sissons.
Endless inspiration. Bold expression. Bold expression.
Color by Sissons. Sissons. Express your style with Color by Sissons.
Boy, yo, they gonna fly with kite now. The wind picking up. I'm coming. Karim, what you doing? Fly my kite. Yeah, but not here. You can't fly kite near power lines, boy. Why not? The wind good. Because mommy say, kite threads conduct electricity. Yeah, kite. He's right. If your kite gets stuck in power lines, it can cause power outages, or even worse, it can get shocked. Come, let's go and fly them in the pasture. Yeah, that makes sense.
Gwen.
It is 7:20. I'm going to check in at the MBIA to see what we have in store for us this morning weather-wise.
where you go, where you walk, what you say, when you talk, where you go, where you walk, what you say, when you talk.
It's a hungry world out there.
And we have Cassia Johnson online from the MBIA. Good morning, Cassia. How are you?
Good morning to you and good morning to the listeners. Here is the weather for today, Tuesday, 2nd May 2023. Presently at the airport, conditions are cloudy. Winds are from the east at 18 miles per hour. Pressure 1015.0 millibars, which is above normal and rising. Present temperature 27.6 degrees Celsius, relative humidity 80%. Yesterday's temperature was 30.7 degrees Celsius. Minimum temperature last night 26.5 degrees Celsius. Over the past 24 hours, there was no rainfall at the airports. Hence, the total for the month is 0.0 millimeters. Looking at a public forecast valid for today and tonight, the weather is expected to be generally fair and windy, with the occasional partly cloudy spells accompanied by light to moderate isolated showers. Today's maximum temperature 31.0 degrees Celsius. Winds easterly to east-southeasterly at 15 to 25 miles per hour. Seas moderate, waves 4 to 6 feet in open waters. Tides are currently falling and will be low at 7:30 a.m., high at 1:45 p.m. Sunset today 6:22, sunrise tomorrow 5:48. Again, the weather is expected to be generally fair and windy, with the occasional partly cloudy spells accompanied by light to moderate isolated showers. From the Met Office, I am Cassia Johnson.
Thank you, Cassia, and have yourself a great day. Thank you.
Which direction you going? You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful, careful.
Where you go, where you walk, what you say, when you talk, where you go, where you walk, what you say, when you talk.
In your search for happiness, you gotta leave a little room for loneliness. More things could happen all of a sudden before you realize it's only a disguise. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful.
Let me say good morning to the people that are listening on WhatsApp. So we have Marks William, Lennox, good morning. Miss Mac Belfon, good morning. Patrick Otley, good morning. Kit Sylvan, wherever you are, good morning. And as I'm here, let me say what Velma has in store for you this morning for breakfast. We have Tanya Log, coconut bakes with salty sauce, fried chicken wings, fish, cheese and egg omelette, tea and coffee. Lunch, rice with kidney beans, ground provision, green salad, fish, chicken and mutton. The soup of the day is turkey, and the drink, tamarind juice. And when it comes to dinner, your usual burger and fries. So again, for breakfast this morning, we have Tanya Log, coconut bakes with salty sauce, fried chicken wings, fish, chicken and egg omelette, tea and coffee. So go see what's going on up at Velma's. Let me say good morning again to the people that are listening online. We have Natalie John, good morning. Gemma Warwood, good morning. Pearl Charles, good morning. And thank you. And Lorna Bain, good morning. All my peeps are saying good morning here this morning. Thank you guys for always checking in.
Where you go when you're walking,
You got to be careful.
what you say when you're talking, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful, careful.
Somehow I didn't hear drumsticks this morning. Drumsticks, what gives, girl? Let me know if everything is A-okay.
M&M Hardware Limited, Hope St. Andrew and Dusty Highway, St. George. Shop conveniently for all your building materials including plumbing, electrical, lumber, cement, steel and much more. We manufacture roofing sheets available in 11 colors, aluminum windows, doors, insect screens and hurricane shutters. Installation services are available for all our manufactured products. Our opening hours are Monday to Friday 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturdays 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. M&M Hardware Limited. Come on in and experience our affordable prices, or call us 444-6757 or 440-6757 Dusty Highway. Email us at info@mahonhardware.com or mnmdusty@mahonhardware.com. M&M Hardware, foundation to roof. Let's build together.
Ozone really gets it clean. Get with the Ozone family line of products. Ozone liquid laundry detergent, perfect for your semi or fully automatic washing machines, yet suitable for your hand wash, soft on your hands. Ozone disinfectant cleaner. It's the most powerful disinfectant and cleaner with a long-lasting fresh scent. Tackles every job around the house or office. Ozone detergent powder and ultra soft fabric softener gets your clothes clean with a natural freshness, keeps your colors bright. Choose from the wonderful scents, soft flower, ocean breeze, and the new aloe vera. Keep your kitchen sparkling clean with the Ozone dishwashing liquid, Ozone sponges and cleaning cloth. Ozone toilet bowl cleaner removes lime scale and kills germs while giving your toilet a refreshing scent. Ozone really gets it clean. Marketed and distributed by Calico, Frequente St. George's, and are available at shops and supermarkets nationwide.
Now more than ever, Flow is working hard to keep you connected to the things that matter most. Your family, your work, and your favorite entertainment. We are also providing Flow Study free of charge so students can stay connected and up to date with their schoolwork. And because your safety is our highest priority, you can manage your account from the safety of your own home through the MyFlow app. We are here for you, keeping you connected.
Boy, yo, they gonna fly with kite now. The wind picking up. I'm coming. Karim, what you doing? Fly my kite. Yeah, but not here. You can't fly kite near power lines, boy. Why not? The wind good. Because mommy say kite threads conduct electricity. Yeah, kite. He's right. If your kite gets stuck in power lines, it can cause power outages, or even worse, it can get shocked. Come, let's go and fly them in the pasture. Yeah, that makes sense.
Gwen.
M&M Hardware Limited, Hope St. Andrew and Dusty Highway, St. George. Shop conveniently for all your building materials including plumbing, electrical, lumber, cement, steel and much more. We manufacture roofing sheets available in 11 colors, aluminum windows, doors, insect screens and hurricane shutters. Installation services are available for all our manufactured products. Our opening hours are Monday to Friday 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturdays 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. M&M Hardware Limited. Come on in and experience our affordable prices, or call us 444-6757 or 440-6757 Dusty Highway. Email us at info@mahonhardware.com or mnmdusty@mahonhardware.com. M&M Hardware, foundation to roof. Let's build together.
Ozone really gets it clean. Get with the Ozone family line of products. Ozone liquid laundry detergent, perfect for your semi or fully automatic washing machines, yet suitable for your hand wash, soft on your hands. Ozone disinfectant cleaner. It's the most powerful disinfectant and cleaner with a long-lasting fresh scent. Tackles every job around the house or office. Ozone detergent powder and ultra soft fabric softener gets your clothes clean with a natural freshness, keeps your colors bright. Choose from the wonderful scents, soft flower, ocean breeze, and the new aloe vera. Keep your kitchen sparkling clean with the Ozone dishwashing liquid, Ozone sponges, and cleaning cloth. Ozone toilet bowl cleaner removes lime scale and kills germs while giving your toilet a refreshing scent. Ozone really gets it clean. Marketed and distributed by Calico, Frequente St. George's, and are available at shops and supermarkets nationwide.
Make money, make money, 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 make money, money.
$3,000 every week for 3 months.
What?
Yes, it's the NLA's Crazy Cash Giveaway Promotion. Every week from April 11th to June 30th, 3 lucky Daily Games customers will randomly win $1,000 each week. Imagine winning as much as $36,000 in 12 weeks.
How?
Spend $12 in a single purchase on Daily Cash 4, Daily Pick 3, or Playway. Look for the words Cash Winner on your tickets to collect $1,000. The more you spend $12 on your favorite daily games, the more chances you have to win. Must be 18 or older to participate. All prizes must be collected by July 7th, 2023. Other terms and conditions apply. See stores for details. NLA, making your dreams come true.
Make money, make money, 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 make money, 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 money.
Grenada Cooperative Nutmeg Association hereby gives notice that the area meetings of the association will be held as follows. St. Andrew, Tuesday 2nd May at Granville Curing Station from 3 p.m. St. David, Wednesday 3rd May, Bellevue Cocoa Station, 3 p.m. St. Patrick, Thursday 4th May, Marley Receiving Station from 3 p.m. St. Mark, Tuesday 9th May, Victoria Receiving Station from 3 p.m. St. George, Wednesday 10th May, Beaulieu Receiving Station from 3 p.m. St. John, Thursday 11th May, Guava Processing Station, 3 p.m. Farmers are asked to make a special effort to attend the meeting in their respective parish. The general meeting of delegates will be held at the Deluxe Cinema, Granville St. Andrew, on Thursday 25th May, commencing at 9:30 a.m.
Good morning again to my listeners. I do have a guest this morning that was really, it's like an emergency urgently. So I have Ms. Emmeline Pear online this morning. Let me say good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hello? Seems we're having a bad connection here. Good morning. Hello? Miss Pear, are you hearing me? We have a bad connection. Let me try that again.
With everybody scrambling to get a share. Wolves in sheep clothing, birds of prey waiting to swoop down on you. And there's no telling what they'll do. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. Where you go when you're walking.
Good morning. Good morning. Seems as though it's not working for me this morning. Miss Pear, are you there?
We have to prepare to meet the challenges of life without fear. Greed and jealousy, hatred and envy, man, you have to move with care in that jungle out there. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. When you move In your search for happiness, you gotta leave a little room for loneliness. More things could happen all of a sudden before you realize it's only a disguise. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with what you do and how you're doing it. If you do, when you're doing it, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful, careful.
I think we may have it now, so let me see what's going on here. Good morning. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you? Thank you. Sorry for all the little problems that we have, but we finally get it. I got a call this morning that Miss Odette has passed away. Do you have anything to say about that in reference to that Odette Best Campbell or Odette Campbell Best?
Okay, so I first want to extend condolences to, of course, her family and close friends, all of those who have been near and dear to her. Deepest condolences. We've heard that she has been battling health-wise for a little while, and to the GBN family as well, deepest condolences. I actually worked with Odette for a period. I've known her for quite a while. Those days working back in the media at the Grenadian Voice as a writer. And one of the things I always remember is how Odette was the apple of Mr. Leslie Pierre's eye. You know, Odette was, to him, everything. And I think it had a lot to do with the quality of her work, her performance. She was a good writer. And actually, in his absence, if you know Mr. Pierre, he was a perfectionist. But in his absence, Odette played a very important role in the production and editing of the newspaper. So that for me always stood out, because if you know Mr. Pierre, it's very difficult to meet that standard with him, and I always admired that. And so it's a loss for, of course, her family and for those who have been close to her. And so I pray that she would rest in perfect peace.
Yeah, we here at Real FM want to extend our deepest sympathy to all her loved ones also, because, well, I guess the media is grieving the same as everyone else is right now, because everybody knew who Odette was.
Yes, I think she has become, even with the hosting of the Beyond the Headlines, I believe very few people in Grenada would not have heard or known of her. And as I said, deepest condolences to her family and close friends and to the staff at GBN. I would imagine today, would be one of those days for the staff, maybe not expected having that news this morning.
Yeah, I know that the time is short for you right now. We have about 10 minutes for you to, but there's an issue that I wanted to bring up to see if you have any feedback on it. This is the Allied Health Practitioner Laws that we passed they talked about at the Trade Center a couple days or weeks ago. Do you have any concern where this is going at all?
I want to raise the concern, yes, definitely, particularly based on the feedback I've been receiving from persons who will be affected by this. So as you know, as you said, the time is very limited. As you know, this law has been passed that relates to allied health professionals. And of course, the SRNO 45 that relates to this act that was passed has a very long list of all the people who would be affected, but I just want to make very quick reference to persons like makeup artists, people who do nails technicians, music therapists, um, persons who are hairdressers and barbers and nail technicians as indicated. All of these people, tattoo artists and so on, all of these people fall under what is called the health practitioners amendment order, and that is the SRNO 45. Now these people are now required to operate according to the laws that have been amended, and they have been given some very strict requirements that they must fulfill by the end of June. Now, let me just say this. I don't think they or anybody really have a problem with the law in itself, which I believe seeks to set a higher standard for the operations in Grenada. It seeks to protect them, and it also seeks to protect persons like ourselves who access their services, right? So it requires them to comply with the relevant laws and regulations, right? It requires them. I saw one of the requirements, and many people have a problem with that. You go to do a service, the service is advertised for $60, and when you finish, they tell you it's $120,
Right.
right? So you're supposed to be told upfront that this service is $60. However, based on what we may have to do, it may increase the cost and it's possibly going to be this. So there are a lot of requirements as it relates to the code of professional conduct. I don't believe that is the problem. I don't believe they have an issue, ensuring that they're qualified and they have the necessary competencies and so to perform the various services that are requested. I believe where the challenge is for many of them, and these are people who are struggling to make an honest dollar. These are people who sometimes go to their shops, their barber shops, their hairdressing shop, and sometimes in a day they would hardly make anything because, there are many of them, right? And these are people with families who are affected by the high cost of living that we're experiencing at this time. And these are people, as I said, I want to stress that they are working very hard. Sometimes the hours that they put in to make an honest dollar. Now, they're required now, between now and the end of June, to submit all of their qualification because they now have to meet certain standards. They are also expected to pay a non-refundable application fee, and that would be $105 according to the SRNO 44. They are also required to pay a registration fee of $300, right? License to practice is $300. And then you have late fee whenever they need to renew their license. Well, that will not be immediately applicable, but you have another $50 there, which would be for renewal when that comes up, right? So they're required to pay all these fees between now and the end of June. But there's also the insurance that is required, evidence of indemnity coverage. And many of them are saying the challenge with that is the cost. One person said it can go as high as 1,000 US, right? Now, that insurance coverage, I've been told by practitioners, the service is not available here in Grenada. And so they would have to get coverage, I would assume, from a company in Trinidad. This is what was shared with me by a couple of the practitioners. Their medical certificates, they have to get notarized copies of their certificates. Of course, you would have to pay for that service. And of course, all the other things, the medical certificate references, evidence of competency in English, and all of those things, police record, all of those are necessary. They're good in terms of lifting the standards, but you're giving them a very short window to operate within. And you're also demanding that when most of what they have to provide would come with a cost. Are they prepared at this stage Can they afford it at this stage? To me, those things need to be considered. But it's also stacking unnecessary fear. It's also stacking unnecessary fear. Because it's not a situation where if you're not able to do this, okay, we say to you, try again. You know, there are serious implications. There are serious implications for persons who are unable to meet those requirements. So, for example, if a person does not register, right? And remember, I just told you that you ask to register by June 30th, right? So if you fail to register and you're found guilty in the magistrate court, you can be charged for this. You can be sent to prison for this. So imagine a hairdresser or barber does not register between now and the end of June. They're being told that you would have to face the penalties. And the penalties can go up to $100,000, 3 years imprisonment, right? And again, the fear that is being sparked from this. There are persons in this industry who have been operating over 20 years and more in some cases, right? And they have been used to a particular standard. Note, I'm not suggesting that we should maintain that standard. It is a wonderful thing. As a matter of fact, in our administration, we started working on the legislation to improve the standard, right? But we are saying enforcement is a different issue. Enforcement with such steep penalties. So people who fail to license can be charged a maximum of $50,000. If you fail to license and register, you can be charged up to $250,000, 5 years in prison, right? Registration fee and all of that I've mentioned to you before. And my view on this is that, yes, let us improve the standard, but let us work with them. Let us work with them. Let us give them some additional time. Let us provide a facility. Maybe government can provide a facility where they can access some financial support to meet those requirements, right?
Yes.
Provide a window somewhere that says within the next 6 months, you can access some grant funding here that you can actually apply for your license. You can do whatever needs to be done. And so you provide support, but also education. The question is, people are being asked to meet those requirements by the end of June. Can we say for a fact that they do all have the information? Have they been provided with a copy of the law? Do they know exactly what they need to do, how they need to do it, where they need to go to do it? So, for example, persons who, and this is very deep, because it's not just about registering. Yes, you have a form and you register, but you are submitting your credentials, your certificate, which has to now be assessed. I can guarantee you that many persons will not meet the requirements.
Okay. We have just 1 minute left, and because I have guests coming up right after. But you think they can make an appeal to the government for more time in this?
I believe that an appeal is not necessary. I believe the government, in good conscience, should reconsider the time frame that has been given to these persons and work with them. Yes, the standards are good. Let's lift the standards, but let us support them financially to get this done. And let us give them a window that they can comfortably make the transition to meet all of those requirements.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Pierre, for bringing this up. I guess we'll have to talk about it more because it's an ongoing issue, but I know the time was really short this morning, the window that we had. So hopefully I'll call you another day and see what we can come up with on there. Thank you so very much.
Most definitely. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Who wants to...
Hungry, anyone? You heard about it, and it's finally here. Velma's Restaurant and Bar, located High Street Satyrs in St. Patrick. They're open from 6 a.m. until midnight. Breakfast is available from 6 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. On the menu is roast bake, sawfish, and many mouth-watering items. Lunch is a close second, with items that can be grilled to your satisfaction. We have steamed fish and other seafoods too. For the health-conscious ones, we provide vegan and vegetarian dishes. Looking for something that will hit the spot? From 5 p.m. until close, come and enjoy our burgers and fries. At Velma's, we cater and host parties. We have an on-site bakery where you can place your orders for fruitcakes and other pastries. We also have local juices. Listen to Real FM for your daily menu to place your order in advance. Call us at 419-5622. That number again, 419-5622. Velma's Restaurant and Bar. Come eat lunch with us.
Ziz's Minimart, located in Montrose St. Patrick, is where you feel all your grocery needs. Looking for a variety of items? Visit Ziz's Minimart. Spend $50 and over for a chance to win. First prize, a brand new toaster oven. Second prize, an electric kettle. Draw takes place on Mother's Day. We're open Monday to Thursday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. On Fridays from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call us today, 457-1100. That number again, 457-1100. Come to Ziz's, where you shop more and spend less.
Who wants to save 30%? Everybody! Now more than ever, Flow understands the need to make your dollar stretch. Our new bundles can help you save 30% off your current bill. Plus, get a free speed upgrade on your in-home internet. Simply add your mobile to your current home services account and save 30%. It's easy. Sign up now and save. All on the most reliable fixed and mobile network on island. Visit a Flow store or call us at 1-800-804-2994 for more information. Flow, it only gets better. Terms and conditions apply.
Grand Case, in collaboration with the National Ozone Unit, will be conducting introductory training in refrigeration and air conditioning at the YWCA building, Granville, St. Andrews, starting on Monday, May 8th, 2023. Classes will be held 3 days per week, Mondays and Wednesdays from 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. and Saturdays 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for 5 weeks. Cost $75. For further information, call Grand Case at 440-6003.
The Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, the credit union of Grenville, takes you where you want to be. Feel secure with the Credit Union of Grenville, taking care of all your financial needs, including savings, loans, mortgages, and sound financial advice. Serving you with branches on Jubilee Street in Grenville, Lucas Street in St. George's, and coming soon, our Grandstand sub-office. Call us on 442-8602 or visit one of our offices. With Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, your financial security is guaranteed.
Who wants to save 30%? Everybody! Now more than ever, Flow understands the need to make your dollar stretch. Our new bundles can help you save 30% off your current bill. Plus, get a free speed upgrade on your in-home internet. Simply add your mobile to your current home services account and save 30%. It's easy. Sign up now and save. All on the most reliable fixed and mobile network on island. Visit a Flow store or call us at 1-800-804-2994 for more information. Flow, it only gets better. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're looking to improve or maintain your health, look no further. We have a general practitioner right here on Main Street, Sates, in the Quasi. Dr. Guerrero, a gynecologist and surgeon who specializes in women's health. She offers lab tests, blood, pap smears, prostate cancer, and stool tests. Consultation for pregnant women from beginning to end. Surgeries, which includes hysterectomy, tying of tubes, vaginal shrinking, removal of uterine fibroids and vaginal warts, hernias, C-section. She also specializes in diagnostic and therapeutic D&C, abnormal bleeding. They're in collaboration with Alice Labs, located in St. George, opposite the Excel Plaza. Dr. Santos, an oncologist who specializes in cancer treatment, a general practitioner, family doctor, will be joining Dr. Gura in the not-too-distant future. Walk-ins are accepted. You can also call for an appointment at 423-3352. That number again, 423-3352. You can also contact us on our landline at 444-4272. That number again, 444-4272. Put your health first.
Where you walk, what you say, when
Good morning again, everyone. It is Tuesday, the 2nd of May. It is Mental Health Tuesday. And today with me, I have a special guest. I am going to introduce you to him right now. Good morning, Nigel.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. So you're here because I invited you to, of course. And
Thank
I'd
you.
like you to tell me, where are you from?
So I was born in London, and I come from London directly. So before I was here, I was in London, in East Ham, in London. That's where I'm from.
Okay.
Just it.
And you're Nigel. What's your last name, Nigel?
So I'm Reverend Nigel Lindsay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who are you really?
Who am I really? Gosh, that's a big question. I'm here as so I'm working with partnerships. So the Council for World Mission, and I'm here in partnership to work with the Presbyterian Church of Grenada. So whilst I'm here, so I'm responsible for the Samaritan Presbyterian Church, and I'm the chaplain for Samaritan Presbyterian Primary School. And also the chaplain for MacDonald College.
Okay. How long are you in Grenada now?
I've been here for over 20 months now. I'm due to be here for at least 3 years. So I've got another year and a half or so to go. I've been here for a while in St Patrick's in the north, experience in the north.
Are you enjoying it so far?
I'm really enjoying the scenery and the country. Many people may have seen me walking around. So I've walked around. We did a fundraising event to raise some money for our building in Samaritan, which is in a bad state. So back in December, I walked around Grenada, all around the island. People gave us some funding, gave us some sponsorship money for that, which is great. And so we've been able to do quite a lot to our building. We still have a bit more to do, but so people spot me out and about.
You mentioned that you're walking, and fortunately this is how I found you, walking. I'm a walker too, so I see when you walk. So yeah. So here's my first question for you. How did you come to be in Grenada?
Okay, so the role I was in as a church minister, a minister with the Methodist Church in East Ham, was coming to an end, and so I kind of decided to apply to the Council for World Mission. They send your papers, once they agree for you to come, then they send your papers to 30 odd countries, and then they look at your credentials, and then somebody invites you. And so the Presbyterian Church in Grenada invited me to come, and that's how I got here.
And here you are.
And here I am.
So you do have an interest in young people and their behaviors.
Yeah.
What it is about young people that everyone is talking about these days?
Okay, so my interest goes back. So I've worked with children and families since 1980, so quite a long time, and I've been involved with kind of scouting in the UK and youth groups and all sorts of interest. So yes, I mean there's quite. So from right back in the 80s, I've certainly been working in that area, and it's been an issue for me. And young people's behaviour and support to young people and families is so important. So that's why.
Okay. You know, on Tuesdays, when I spoke to you, I told you we do have a mental health program on Real FM. So that's why I invited you, because some of your credentials are showing that you work with young people, you work with, psychologically and everything. So we have a focus on good mental health, right?
Yeah.
So give us a few tips on promoting good mental health.
Okay. So I kind of think good mental health is part of a holistic lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to kind of look at all the different areas of our lives, and that helps our mental health. So good healthy food is important, and I know some people struggle with that because of finances and stuff and getting good healthy food, but there's quite an abundance of really great fruits and vegetables and stuff here in Grenada, so that's really good. I think good night's sleep is important, and making sure, particularly for young people, when you're growing, you need sort of like 8 hours sleep probably. But when you go to bed late because you want to stay up late, or you can't get to sleep because you're worrying about stuff, then that becomes a problem. So trying to get a good night's sleep somehow is quite important. I think good exercise. I think maybe sometimes in the summer I try to do some stuff in pastures, so games and activities, but not many people came, not many people took part in that, and I didn't see so many young people particularly out playing. I think they've got stuck on their tablets, they've got really and so having some good exercise is really good for our mental health, and that's important. Feeling loved and wanted is so important. So being in a family where somebody loves you and cares for you and wants the best for you, I think that helps people's mental health. I think there's a spiritual connection as well. I would say that, obviously, as a church minister. But I think that God's made us to have that kind of spiritual connection. And some people have walked away from that. They're kind of filling their lives with other things, and maybe other spirits, alcoholic spirits and stuff. But I think a spiritual connection is so important to our mental health. Making a contribution to society is important. So feeling that we're giving something to other people is quite important in our mental health. A sense of purpose, so having work, having study, having something that we go out and get involved with, I think that's really important. And finally, again, I would say this, but kind of a Christian community, or a community that you're part of, where people encourage you and support you and challenge you and help you through your life. I think that research has shown that those that are regularly involved and actively involved in churches actually live longer, because their life is more fulfilled in some way or other. So lots of little points really about mental health.
Okay. People are talking about young people behavior being more challenging these days. Do you think that this is the case? And why now?
I think we've been talking about it forever. So back in the 80s, when I started involvement, I ran a support group for parents of teenagers. And we called it Challenging Teenagers, because there were challenges, and young people go through that stage between being a child and being an adult. There's that trauma period of life, and I think that's always going to be the case. I think there are some things that have had an impact on young people. So sometimes when people don't really have it takes two parents to bring up a child, and I think sometimes when there's only one doing that, they try their best and they do their best, and some do amazing jobs, but it's quite a hard task, and having someone there to support you, so somebody around is important. People talk about a whole community to bring up a child. And I think that's the case, is that the community around you, I think they used to be a bit more together. People have moved more these days. People are travelling to different places, different people in different areas. And I think having people together and supporting each other. And one of the problems, I think, sometimes is if other adults in the community sometimes feel they can't say something, they can't get involved with children because they're afraid of that, of what the parents might say or what the young person may say, whereas in the past it had been kind of more acceptable. So I think lots of those kinds of things have had a difference. And I think values have slipped. You know, we just accept some things which maybe there needed to be clearer boundaries about.
So you're thinking that we should try to get back into the community feeling, like it takes a community to raise a child, as we heard before. And now we have moved away from that, or that has slipped from under us. Do you think we should try to get this back so that the youths know that they have people to care about them, they have people to guide them?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think the whole sense of community has changed. You know, people used to be in a geographical community together, and now there's online communities and there's different community, work community, different communities that are around, and we need to kind of work out what is community and how do we support people within that process. But there does need to be support from other people, and I think sometimes people are a bit embarrassed, you know, if their young person is behaving in a difficult way. They don't like to go and talk to anybody else about that because it's like, this is embarrassing or this is shaming, so they don't say anything, and it just gets worse and sometimes.
But is there any, besides you talking about it and what you're doing, do you think there are any facilities around that children or parents can go to get some help though?
I don't know. I think one of the problems is I'm although I've been 20 months, I'm not really seeing any of that.
Okay.
You know, I've heard of talk of people saying, well, we're going to set up a parenting group from a school or something like that, but actually materialising, I've not actually physically seen that take place. I'm sure there are organisations in Grenada that can provide that support, and certainly, you know, I'm very up for, as I said, I ran a group for parents of teenagers back in the UK, and I've run a number of different groups, support groups for parenting, so I'm very up for doing that if that was something that people were wanting to kind of get going. Okay.
Now, we've been through a couple of years going through the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. How did that impact, or what impact did it have on the community, on our young people?
Yeah, I think it's made them more insular. so one of the like last summer, as I said, I tried to do some games out in the field to get people out and about, really. And there was so many people just used to their tablets. It was great that the government were able to issue and support young people in home learning through the COVID period. But in them all getting their tablets, it meant that they ended up just looking at their tablets and using them for education, but also looking at them for other purposes as well. And I sometimes just see a whole load of young people just looking at their phones. So that's, and the interaction, the discussion that they might otherwise have had is not taking place. And it's happened, I mean, it's happening generally anyway, isn't it? That whole kind of internet things. You see a mum and a child going out, and you see the mum looking at their phone more so than they are looking at the child. And from a baby, a child is given a little phone to entertain them. And all of those kinds of things, and so the interaction is not taking place, and I think that has a sort of a big impact. Also, some of the things that young people end up viewing on these devices, and lots of parents don't have the technical ability to
censor.
Censor some of those things. And so the youngsters are just getting around that and just seeing all sorts of stuff that's often very inappropriate for their age, and that's not so helpful. So I think that's had an impact. and also coming together, people coming together for what do they call it? So in assemblies and things like that, some of those big events where people would have been given ground rules about expectation, they didn't take place sometimes, and so people have slipped into behaviours that are not acceptable, and they don't really, so that's quite difficult.
Do you think that we have gone too far, or is there a hope that we can reel them back in?
I think there's always hope, there's always hope for things to change and for us to readdress some of those things. I think that's really important. Just one thing that families could do is, I know that often people have meals on their own, they have their own meal, and they're watching their own devices, they're not sitting around a communal TV anymore, all those kinds of things. But maybe once or twice a week to try and have a meal where you put away your devices and you sit down and you talk at the table together with your family. I think that would be beneficial. Just introducing that slowly, just otherwise it could be a bit traumatic.
So you think we have lost our social status in the sense of face-to-face? I'm having a conversation with you like we're doing now. I'm having a conversation with just... we lost that because everybody has their device at their fingertip. No one moves without it these days. And it's said that if you forget your watch or you forget your phone at home, you will go back for that phone instead of anything else. That's how it has become worldwide.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm asking a question in the dark, but do you think we could ever reach a day again where the phones and the tablets are not so important to our lives that we can continue living as we used to before? Because before the cell phones and the phones and everything came into effect, we were living like normal people. We had community relationship. We were talking to people. People were talking to us. We were doing all the normal things, but all the norm now has gone out the window. We have a different norm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we can go back, because I think some of those there are benefits, there are benefit from that technology, and I think we need to utilise that. But maybe we have to be a little bit more disciplined about saying we're going to turn it off at this stage, or we're going to try to go through this next couple of hours without looking at our, just try to wean ourselves off a little bit so that we don't end up not having that opportunity to communicate with people directly. I think that's important.
Well, you are from the UK and you are in Grenada. How is life different in Grenada from the UK? Is it totally different? Is it same thing? What do you think?
I think everywhere is different. I've had the privilege of living in Nigeria and in Kenya and in East India. So it's a variety of different places. And I think everywhere has its greatness and its downfalls, and we kind of sometimes see those things. I think culturally, I'm always very keen to find out what I know from my experiences, how that then fits culturally and rightly with the place where I've come from. Mm-hmm. And that's about communication. Sometimes you don't always get feedback about. Somebody told me the other day, I put on a flyer about I'm doing a training session on leadership, and on the thing I said, bring your pad, and they said people will think that's a sanitary pad, as opposed to I should have put writing pad.
Yes, yes.
So it's those kinds of little things that where there's a difference in use of language.
Yes.
Which is different, but there's also culturally. I mean, I'm saying to church all the time, if Christianity came direct from Jerusalem, Israel, where it came from originally, to the Grenada, what would it look like? How would it be? Whereas what it's done is come through the European eyes, and it's just carrying on doing the European thing. But what would church look like if it came directly through, rather than having to go through that other space? And I think we need to kind of look at that all the time, rather than accepting what had been put into place by Europeans coming across to here, then we need to look at what would be truly Grenadian, if that's possible, and with all the different cultures and people from different nations that are here in Grenada.
Okay, so from your perspective, what do you think it was going to be looking like?
What do I think it's going to be looking like? I don't know, really. I think some of the music will be different. Some of the way that we do meetings may be different. We seem to have got stuck in different bits of protocol that are kind of from where they're from. I don't know, European protocol and all those kinds of things. So I think music would be different. One of the things we've introduced at church is now is because I, as I say, lived in Nigeria and Kenya. Is when we do collection, we do a dance collection, so people dance to the front of the church, which is what I've experienced in Africa.
Okay.
And people enjoying that, enjoying the freedom to do that. Whereas, otherwise they were just going around with a plate, in the way that often happens.
Okay. Parents, what do you think that parents can do to help the family situation?
Okay, so parents, I think they need to be able to ask for help when they need help. That's an important thing. We need to identify that we have a responsibility to 18, and I know my mum at 96 was still concerned about me before she died. So I think parents have this ongoing role, don't they? And we need to make sure that we kind of stick to the role. Start young, I think. If you're giving clear boundaries to your children, if you're giving them good expectations, then make sure you do it younger before they get older and want to rebel against some of those things, really. So starting young is really important. You need, they need time. So young people need time. Often there was a good YouTube clip recently I saw of a child saying to their dads, "How much do you earn for your wages?" And the dad was a bit annoyed that the child had asked that, and he told him how much he earned. And then the child disappeared and and then he came back to his dad and said, "Can you give me $50? And the dad said, "Why should I give you $50? And he said, "Well, I've been saving up. I've already got $50, and you say you earn $100 per hour, and I wanted to. If you give me $50, I'll have 100, and I can pay for an hour of your time."
Wow.
And that's quite a powerful statement, isn't it? That parents will be out doing other things, and they're not actually spending time and quality time with their children. And I think that's so important. People need time. People need lots of time, and that's difficult. The other big thing I think is consistent boundaries.
Meaning?
Meaning, yeah. So sometimes, if we're feeling good, we allow our children to do some things. When we're not feeling so good, we don't allow them to do those things. It depends on our moods often, or if we're partying, or if we've got friends around, or whatever. And it's really important for children to know this is not okay today, and it's not okay tomorrow, and it's not okay this hour. And those consistent boundaries are important. Children can cope with inconsistencies, but they ideally, most of the time, it needs to be a reasonably consistent group of boundaries, which are important. There's lots of different things that parents can be doing, but it's kind of a massive long list, isn't it? And one of the things that often happens when children is that as they get older, the rules need to be changing slightly, because you're getting to a stage where we're both becoming adults, and I think sometimes parents try and stick to the rules they had when the child was 5, when they're 15, and that's not going to work. No, so you need to kind of move with the age group as well, and sometimes sitting down and doing, one of the big complaints often from parents is, "Oh, they never do anything around the house." They never help me. I'm slaving away doing the washing and the cooking and everything else. So almost like do a list of everything that needs to be done in the house, and then identify who does this normally, who does this normally, who does this normally, and then try to reallocate some of the tasks so that it's a more shared opportunity as young people get older. And that teaches them for when they leave home and helps them to know that they're those roles that they need to play.
It says some parents are struggling and sometimes just feel like giving up. What can they really do?
Again, try to ask for help and try to get some support from other people. I know that's pride and embarrassment and stuff like that. Sometimes people don't want to do it, but asking for help. Be aware, I suppose, that teenagers, youngsters go through kind of like a trough of, they're doing well, and then they go down, and their moods will change, and their bodies are changing physically, and all of those kinds of things happen. And it's almost like you have to remain the stable thing, the stable constant throughout that period whilst they're in that trauma. Some say it's called the doldrums, where the sea's going everywhere and everything's going up and down. So just being constantly there is important for young people, and that's difficult, and you need support, from either a partner or from other family members. Is really important.
So you've been in Grenada for 20 months, and you come from the UK. Does the same things that we're going through here, the pride, the embarrassment, happens in the UK as well as it happened here, or is it you're just seeing it here?
I think it happens everywhere, but I think it in some communities, particularly in Grenada, people live much closer to each other, and they've always lived in those areas. So one of the things I was quite surprised by when I first came was people had said, we were born in the house just over there, and now they live in the house here. And so they were very, very close. So they get to know, and there's advantages in that, but there's disadvantages because you can't be, so from London, like the transition of people moving, and there's so many people, it's a very different environment. So people can be more anonymous in that structure.
Okay.
So I think that makes for a difference. I was asked once or a couple of times to do some parenting groups in a primary school, and lots of and it was mostly aimed at parents whose children they were having struggles within the school. And lots of the parents didn't want to come. To start with, they just didn't want to come to this group, which they felt they were being forced to come to. But once they'd been there for 2 or 3 sessions, they didn't want to finish. They wanted to carry on because it wasn't the support that I was giving, and I was giving different ideas and trying to pull people together, but it was the support of other parents and feeling that other parents are in that same situation. Children come with no rule book, no instructions, and they're all different and they're all unique. So the one you had 2 years ago is not going to be the same as the one that you have, the next child that you have, because they're all different and all unique and need different ways of supporting them. So people shouldn't be embarrassed. It's a challenge for everybody.
Okay. Now, we know there are areas that we as parents or people in general need assistance with. What are some of these areas?
Okay, yeah. So I think we need to help our children or everybody, not just the children, cope with things like anger. How do we deal with anger? If anger's okay? But it's how we deal with that anger, how we display that anger. Worry and anxiety is the big issue. Bullying, not just for children being bullied in schools, but being bullied in churches, in workplaces and different places. How do we cope with bullying and how do we sort that out? Connecting in some ways with the anger, there's things like aggression. How are people being aggressive in the way that they respond, and maybe you need to think about being more assertive rather than aggressive in what they do. Self-worth, how people consider, and so many images on the internet of all these really beautiful people, and that makes other people feel, I can never make up to that, those kind of images. Things like having time for family, and we've mentioned that, the importance of having time. Self-image, staying focused. So one of the problems of the internet is you just flick from one thing to another quickly, don't you? And so people's concentration spans and being able to stay focused when they're listening to a conversation, they get distracted very quickly. I kind of noticed that a little bit more here in Grenada. So if I'm having a conversation with somebody and somebody walks past, that person will interrupt, and then the conversation will go to that person, and the conversation you're having will just disappear completely. So people, or somebody walks past a classroom and the teacher's talking, and they get more attracted to the person walking past the classroom than they do. So
you did mention earlier that because of the close-knit or the close-knit things that people that we have in Grenada live closely, everybody seems to know everybody.
Yeah.
So when you pass, if I pass by and I see you talking to someone and I say, hi Nigel, and hi this person, because the person knows me, they may want to have a conversation with me. So that I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And like you're from, like in Europe and other places like that, when you have a conversation with somebody, like you're zoned to that person and that person only. That's because of the, how you call it, the anonymously, or the word you use, that you don't have that close-knit things going on in London or parts of Europe as we have in Grenada here.
I mean, I tried, when I was in my church in Wimbledon, I used to stand outside the church on a couple of mornings a week and talk to people as they were going to work or school or whatever. And one of the things I was aware of was sometimes if I was wanting to speak to somebody else and they were walking past, I was kind of thinking, perhaps I should stop this conversation. But I really tried my best not to interrupt the conversation. If someone's talking to me, then that's the focus. I need to stay focused on that person, and I have to catch the person another time.
Okay.
That it's about, but it's also about a study. For young people, they need to kind of stay focused on what the aim is for that particular time. So staying focused is there. Bereavement's there. I hear so many on the radio, all of the deaths of people, and particularly young people. The age group of people dying is quite low. We don't get that necessarily in the UK. And separation and loss, bereavement, separation and loss are all kind of intertwined in some ways, but there are some parents who go overseas to work, maybe for financial reasons or whatever, but then their children back here are feeling isolated, or they don't see them so often or whatever, and so there's that kind of whole loss process. Or when people separate and join another family, somebody goes and joins another family, then where does that, there's all of those kinds of breakups that are occurring as well. So there's some of the issues, and I'm sure there must be lots more that we need to kind of try to address.
I'll take a commercial break and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Grand Case, in collaboration with the National Ozone Unit, will be conducting introductory training in refrigeration and air conditioning at the YWCA building, Granville, St. Andrews, starting on Monday, May 8th, 2023. Classes will be held 3 days per week, Mondays and Wednesdays from 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. and Saturdays 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for 5 weeks. Cost $75. For further information, call Grand Case at 440-6003.
The Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, the credit union of Grenville, takes you where you want to be. Feel secure with the Credit Union of Grenville, taking care of all your financial needs, including savings, loans, mortgages, and sound financial advice. Serving you with branches on Jubilee Street in Grenville, Lucas Street in St. George's, and coming soon, our Grandstand sub-office. Call us on 442-8602 or visit one of our offices. With Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, your financial security is guaranteed.
Who wants to save 30%? Everybody! Now more than ever, Flow understands the need to make your dollar stretch. Our new bundles can help you save 30% off your current bill. Plus, get a free speed upgrade on your in-home internet. Simply add your mobile to your current home services account and save 30%. It's easy. Sign up now and save. All on the most reliable fixed and mobile network on island. Visit a Flow store or call us at 1-800-804-2994 for more information. Flow, it only gets better. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're looking to improve or maintain your health, look no further. We have a general practitioner right here on Main Street, Sautez in the Kweze. Dr. Guerrero, a gynecologist and surgeon who specializes in women's health. She offers lab tests, blood, pap smears, prostate cancer, and stool tests. Consultation for pregnant women from beginning to end. Surgeries, which includes hysterectomy, tying of tubes, vaginal shrinking, removal of uterine fibroids, and vaginal warts, hernias, C-section. She also specializes in diagnostic and therapeutic D&C, abnormal bleeding. They're in collaboration with Alice Labs, located in St. George, opposite the Excel Plaza. Dr. Santos, an oncologist who specializes in cancer treatment, a general practitioner, family doctor, will be joining Dr. Guerra in the not-too-distant future. Walk-ins are accepted. You can also call for an appointment at 423-3352. That number again, 423-3352. You can also contact us on our landline at 444-4272. That number again, 444-4272. Put your health first. So we are back with Reverend Nigel Lindsay from the UK. He is in Grenada 20 months now. He works with the Presbyterian Church. He works with Macdonald College Chaplain. And he's also, he talks to people about their mental health. So, Nigel, with all that you have spoken about here, all the points that I've asked you questions about, how does it really affect us mentally?
Okay. Well, I think what happens for us as children has a massive impact on how it affects us later in our life. So, mental health is a combination of what we inherit from our families or from our genes and all of those things, but it's also what we experience. And some of those experiences can make us less able to, more able to cope with our mental health, or less able to cope with our mental health, and that the whole kind of word of resilience and how we deal with those things are so important. So for young people, learning that they are loved and cared for, and people have time for them, kind of has an impact on how they go through the rest of their lives, really, and what they get involved with. So I think that's the area. Mental health, things like anxiety and worry. If people bottle those things up, then that has an impact on how they respond, or how they go. Whether they go down a route where they need medication to support them through not getting so worried, not getting so angry about things. I can remember speaking to a man when I was doing my theological placement with the Salvation Army back in London. There was a man who used to come into a cafe that they ran, and he said that he worried about everything. He was so anxious about everything. So they the hospital gave him some medication to help him, to prevent him from worrying. But then he worried about when he would take the medication, and it was kind of like a complete circle of stuff. And I think there's it's about trying to. Most things work when people have time, and sometimes people are given. Unfortunately, they're given medications which help them. I mean, and some medications are really helpful to calm people down. But they need somebody to give them the time and listen to them, and so we can placate, or if that's right, we can prevent some of those issues for the future if only we had time to listen to each other and support each other in all of the areas that I kind of been talking about, really.
It's important that you said that we listen to each other, because most of us, we really and truly do not listen. You might be talking to me, I'm hearing you, but am I really listening to you?
Yeah.
And I think this is the key to helping a lot of people, because if you don't listen, you would never really understand or hear what that person is really saying to you. And that person might be crying out for help, but because you're not listening and you say, it's okay, you'll get over that.
Yeah.
This is not what we have to say.
Yeah.
How do we change our attitude towards that?
We just need more time, or we need to think about the use of our time. So some lots of us will do the things that we want to do, but we don't do the things that we don't want to do. We kind of I often think about, I mean, not just here, but in the UK. Often people will come up to me and ask for money for food. They will say, it may not necessarily always be for food,
right.
but they often ask for that. But what really they need is someone to sit down alongside them. Okay, they may physically need food at that time, but someone to sit beside them and just talk to them and give them some time. And talking, you can actually sometimes help people to work out a path through, so they don't need to be on the street asking people for money, working out some kind of strategies that they might need. But that takes time to do that, and we all kind of are rushing backwards and forwards, and we don't do that. If we could only do it when young people are younger and give them the toolbox of things that they might be able to do, then that's useful. It's
funny that you said about we need to listen. There are a lot of homeless people around the world. As we know, we meet them all over the place when we in our travels where we live. And I read a story that was really touching. There was a guy that was sitting on the side of the road with a card that says, "I am hungry, please give me change for food." There was a young woman that passes him every day. And one day she decided, well, I am going to stop and give him some food. So she bought food for him and her. She sat on the side of the street with him, and they started talking. And he was not always homeless. We don't born homeless. He was not, but he met hard times because when he was working, he lost his job. He couldn't pay his rent, so he got evicted. So every day she passes by and she gives him food, and they sit and they chat and all that. She was getting married. She invited him to her wedding, the homeless man. And he was out of the world because he's like, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? She invited me to her wedding. How are people going to take it? But she did not really care because she spoke to him and she really got to know who he was by listening to him. So, of course, the wedding day came by 2 days. He went to the barber. He got, we're homeless. You know what they look like when homeless. He went to the barber, got him all cleaned up, bought him a suit and everything. Told the family that she's inviting him to the wedding and he's going to do like you, chaplain. He delivers. He's going to marry her then. She gave him that right to marry she and her husband. And everybody was up in arms about it. But she didn't care. She and her husband said, we want him to give. So while he was on the pulpit or the altar, people from the audience was staring at him and talking about it. He lost his nerve and he sort of ran out the church. And she met him there and she says, where are you going? He says, people are looking at me and I'm feeling bad. She says, back up there.
Right.
So he went back. He gave he married them finally. And he said he had a special surprise for them. No one knew what the surprise was, but he was a singer. He writes songs.
Right.
And when it was time for him to say something, he said, this is who I am. This is what you made me into, and this is what I want to do for you. This is a gift that I want to give to you. And he sang. He opened his mouth, and the words came out.
Right.
And people were amazed at what came out of him. So they weren't looking at him as, oh, that homeless guy that she did. They looked at him in a different light because he has lifted himself to see who, and you wouldn't believe, he started getting contracts.
Right.
So sometimes, why I'm saying this is sometimes we meet hard times in our lives. And as you said, people just need somebody to talk to them sometimes.
Yeah.
Just to make them feel as the person that they are inside and not looking on the outward and judge. So this is a group, maybe we need to listen a little bit more. I'm not saying to go out there and talk to every homeless person because some of them are violent. We know that. But you might be able to make a judgment as to which one you think that you can talk to.
Yeah. No, I think it's important to try and give a bit of time to somebody, and that's kind of so important. And sometimes you can give them time by kind of giving them some hints about some of the, if they're facing issues to do with anger or bullying or aggression, you can give them hints which they can then kind of put into place. I mean, I see a number of young people at school for sessions, and what I try to do is give them a mix of different tools that they can use and put into place. And I was really pleased the other day, there was an incident in a school with a young person fighting, and the young person I was talking to knew something more about that school situation, and he was able to put together some of the issues we've been talking about with bullying and talking about with anger, and put them together and tell me that kind of pattern of what happens in that whole situation using. So he was he'd kind of picked up on all of those kind of techniques really that would be useful for him for the future.
Bullying. You spoke about bullying. This is the third time you spoke about bullying. Maybe the next time you come back, we can really, when I invite you back, to talk about bullying. But give us a synopsis on what is the danger of bullying and people that are being bullied.
Right. I think the danger is that it builds up. So if somebody's being bullied, then they're feeling they're the lowest of the low, that more people are more powerful than they are, and they end up building up some of that resentment, and eventually sometimes that will explode. But sometimes it will go inwards. So it's the same with anger and with bullying. So with anger, bullying, with anxiety, it builds up inside us, and either we let it out in aggression often, or we we push the aggression back on ourselves, and so self-harm may occur. People's image kind of deteriorates, their self-image kind of goes down, and obviously some people then commit suicide because of the extent of the bullying. And unfortunately now it's not just stuff that when you physically are out there with somebody that you're being bullied. People are being bullied online so much as well, and with access to WhatsApp and everything else, then it can just constantly be there.
Callers, if you need to call to speak to Nigel, the number is 442-0175. We're talking about young people, mental health, and how it's affecting them and their parents. So please give us a call and let us know what you feel about the topic that we are having this morning, young people and mental health. So we touched on bullying, and I know we're going to come back to this another time. Now, what are some of the symptoms of bullying? How, people can use that word loosely and say, I am being bullied. But is there any point in someone's life when they realize, well, hey, I'm really being bullied and I cannot do anything, I cannot help myself?
Yeah, I mean, bullying isn't really a one-off occasion. It's something that's repeated, and it sometimes can be repeated again and again by different people, so it doesn't necessarily always be the same people. One interesting bit for me was that when I worked in a primary school in the UK, we at one stage was aware that there was a whole load of children that were being bullied. So what we did was we called in the parents of those children to talk a bit about bullying. And what we discovered was that the majority of those parents had also been bullied when they were at school. And so when the child went home and said, I was being bullied, the strategies that were given to the child were the same ones the parents had tried to use when they were at school, and they hadn't worked. And what we discovered is when we did some more work with the parents about what potentially you could do, then the children in the school were being bullied less. It's a bit strange though, because we always say, and it's true, it's not the person that's being bullied that's the wrong person.
Right.
It's the person that's bullying them. But there is a kind of a two-way process there. So how the person who's being bullied responds to the bully is important as well in trying to address that. And the other problem often is that sometimes the bully has a group of people around them who are encouraging them.
Strengthening numbers.
Strengthening them, yeah. And if those people stayed away, they're just equally to blame because they are almost like reinforcing and encouraging the person that's doing the bullying.
Because most times that I've learned and researched, people that are being bullied, they rarely respond to the bullying. They take it silently. But the moment they respond, then they get in trouble themselves. After years and months of being bullied, then you are the one in trouble because you respond to the bully. How is that fair in any way or form?
And it's not fair at all, is it really? But it's about, I suppose that's why it's important to learn how we cope with our anxiety, our anger and those kinds of things in an appropriate way. So trying to think of alternative ways to respond is important rather than responding with aggression, because that's often what happens, and then they get into trouble, and then there's a but sometimes, you know, to be fair, sometimes aggression works, doesn't
yes.
it? Yeah, because it does turn the other person away, but it's not very helpful and sometimes it doesn't help. It just kind of continues the battle between the two. It's a big issue, I think, in other places. Certainly one of the churches I was in, I didn't have accommodation, and a woman accommodated me whose son had been killed through knife crime. And so I got quite involved in some ways in forums about knife crime, and what tends to happen is that, you know, one group starts to fight another group, and then one's aggressive to the other, and the retaliation just carries on.
Yeah.
And so we need to kind of stop that process and think about assertive responses instead.
We do have a call. Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, Claire, and how are you this morning?
I am good, thank you, Mona. How are you?
Not too bad.
Good.
I want to thank you for is it Nigel?
Yes, Mr. Nigel Lindsay.
All right, for enlightening parents concerning the children, and that they may focus and study themselves, especially parents, to guide their children. And in fact, it took a community. You know, you have parents, when you talk to them about their children, they does not please. Sometimes they curse you. You see the wrong, and you're trying to let them know what is taking place, and you get the worst of it. But we would like for Mr. Nigel to come back and to continue educating parents, in fact, people as a whole, what taking place with stress in our life.
Thanks, Mona.
Have a blessed day.
Okay, bye-bye.
And where is my partner?
He's silent for now. We're going to hear him just now.
Silent listener
Yeah,
then?
he's taking it all in this morning.
Oh my God.
You want to say good morning to Mona?
Well, Clay, first of all, you didn't yourself introduce me this morning. This really wasn't.
That's why.
I introduced you to Nigel, didn't I?
No,
you introduced me to Nigel.
She didn't introduce you. That's why I say that.
You see, that's why today you have to get fired. You see, I just put you on the spot. Say good morning to Mona.
Good morning to Miss Mona. Good morning.
Good morning. You see, I concerned because I don't know what's taking place.
You come to my rescue.
Why you is a statue then?
She's a silent listener. Didn't you hear me?
Have a blessed day.
Thanks for coming to my rescue, Miss Mona.
Right.
Is it too late to introduce you, Jester? Just to introduce yourself to everybody that is listening. Go ahead.
No,
you have your chance. Go to www. Go ahead.
No, I don't need to go to that this
Okay.
morning. All I will say, good morning to the listeners and viewers of Real Earth.
Okay.
Real FM, man.
So, Nigel, that was a call from one of our ardent listeners. She listens every day and she participates every week in our program here on mental health. And she did say she wanted to thank you for coming in. Well, you heard. So, respond.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great to be able to come in, and there are lots of. I mean, this is a great way to reach people, isn't it? And to be able to pass on, hopefully, some useful information, some useful tips that they can utilise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let me ask you a question before you leave. Is enough being done to combat bullying?
I mean, it's difficult for me to say because, as I say, I'm only here 20 months and I don't really, I'm not really connected to the whole system of what is going on.
Not only here.
Across
the globe.
Across the globe. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I don't. I mean, I think that needs to be more. I think the problem is that there's resources and finances to provide for doing these kinds of things. But I think in the long term, so back in the 80s, I was a social worker, and my first role as a social worker was working in a preventative patch team. So we were very local to a community, and we did preventative work as well as work with families where there were, more challenges and legal work that needs to be done as well. But slowly, finances have reduced that to only responding really to crisis and legal expectations. And so the preventative things, which are so important, like the group work, like the setting up clubs for young people and all those kinds of things, kind of go out of the window. And I think that's probably the issue as well in Grenada and everywhere else. If we can try, one of the things I was doing as a primary mental health worker with child and adolescent mental health services, I was setting up training sessions for teachers, for youth workers, for people who dealt in general with people, so that they could understand some of the basics that they could put into place with young people. I've been asked by the Conference of Churches to look a little bit at behaviour in some of our interdenominational schools, and so I'm writing a paper at the moment on that subject, just to really see what we can do. And where I've got to at this stage is thinking, well, okay, we have got counsellors in some of the schools, but lots of the schools don't have those counsellors.
Right.
And the finances to do that is going to be difficult. So it's about trying to empower the form teachers to have some of the knowledge that's important to be able to support children in a way. But whether that's going to be possible, I don't know, because obviously then people will say we don't have time to do that as well. So it's a dilemma. So it's for parents and for children to think. So parents and teachers and everybody to be able to have some of those tools that they might be able to use.
Okay. Nigel, I'd like to say thank you so very much for taking the time out to come talk to us this morning on the mental health of young people, how they can cope, how parents can cope. I'll have you back again sometime soon when I see you walking, but I do have your phone number, so we can talk more on bullying because it is a big issue. And I'd like you to come back to talk about that. So thank you so very much for coming to us here this morning on Real FM to talk about.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Immerse yourself in colors that come alive.
Color by Sissons.
Let your imagination run wild. Surround yourself in a world of color.
Color by Sissons.
Endless inspiration. Bold expression. Bold expression.
Color by Sissons. Sissons. Express your style with Color by Sissons.
The NLA is giving you more chances to multiply your Playway winnings by adding Multi-X to your regular Playway bets to win up to 5 times more. Imagine winning as much as $1,200 instead of $240 with a $10 Playway bet by simply adding Multi-X. Place your Playway bets from $1 to $10 or in increments on your favorite Playway symbols or numbers. Then add the Multi-X option at the same value to win 2 times, 3 times, 5 times more, or free plays. With Multi-X, you must bet the same amount wagered on your regular Playway bets for your winnings to be multiplied. Grenadians, value your dreams and win your way as much as 5 times more with Multi-X added to Playway and watch your money grow. Must be 18 years or older to play. NLA, making your dreams come true.
M&M Hardware Limited, Hope St. Andrew and Dusty Highway St. George. Shop conveniently for all your building materials including plumbing, electrical, lumber, cement, steel and much more. We manufacture roofing sheets available in 11 colors, aluminum windows, doors, insect screens and hurricane shutters. Installation services are available for all our manufactured products. Our opening hours are Monday to Friday 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturdays 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. M&M Hardware Limited. Come on in and experience our affordable prices or call us 444-6757 or 440-6757 Dusty Highway. Email us at info@mahonhardware.com or mnmdusty@mahonhardware.com. M&M Hardware, foundation to roof. Let's build together.
Just want to let you folks know that after the news this morning at 9, I'll be having another interview with one of the members of the RGPF. I'm going to let you know who he is when he gets back. He just stepped out for a short moment. So after the news at 9, we'll be having another guest on the program.
M&M Hardware Limited, Hope St. Andrew and Dusty Highway St. George. Shop conveniently for all your building materials including plumbing, electrical, lumber, cement, steel and much more. We manufacture roofing sheets available in 11 colors, aluminum windows, doors, insect screens and hurricane shutters. Installation services are available for all our manufactured products. Our opening hours are Monday to Friday 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturdays 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. M&M Hardware Limited. Come on in and experience our affordable prices or call us 444-6757 or 440-6757 Dusty Highway. Email us at info@mahonhardware.com or mnmdusty@mahonhardware.com. M&M Hardware, foundation to roof. Let's build together.
The first word when you speak about furniture is classic. Yes, at Classic Furniture, they design and make the best in local furniture. All their products are made from the finest local wood available on island. You think it, they design it and make it to your expectations. The highest
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.
Welcome to the latest news update as produced by Triple N. Details when we get back.
Angie, don't you know
that you should not fly a kite near electrical poles and wires. You should only fly it in open areas. If the kite gets stuck, it can cause power outages throughout the village.
Then I'll just pull it down, Johnny. Simple.
No. You shouldn't do that. You can get shocked. You should call Grenlec at 237 and they will come and help.
Alright.
Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Welcome back locally. Grenada joins in celebrating 44 years of diplomatic relations with Cuba. Grenada and Cuba established diplomatic relations on April 14th, 1979, just a few years after receiving independence from British rule in 1974, and only 1 month after the triumph of the Grenadian Revolution led by Comrade Maurice Bishop. As a young nation with young leaders, the experienced support offered by the government and people of the Republic of Cuba was welcomed with open arms, especially in the development of social programs and infrastructure. In the region, Japan's Foreign Affairs Minister visits Trinidad and Tobago. Here's more.
During a flag-raising ceremony on Monday, this country's Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, Dr. Amory Brown, said there remains a vibrant trade relationship between Trinidad and Tobago and Japan, adding that the ties of friendship are strong. Dr. Brown said both ministers will examine a wide range of topics and sectors.
Trade and investment, as I mentioned, tourism and culture, 60th anniversary celebrations, cooperation in the multilateral fora. Japan has a number of strong candidatures at this time, and Trinidad and Tobago, but we've always worked well in these areas before. This visit will take our cooperation to an even higher level.
Mr. Hiyashi's presence marked the first time that a Japanese foreign minister visited Trinidad and Tobago since the start of diplomatic relations almost 60 years ago. And during a virtual media briefing on Monday afternoon, Japanese officials indicated that Japan will assist CARICOM countries, including Trinidad and Tobago, in its climate change efforts. They said as part of that country's environmental and climate change initiative, Japan will be providing grant assistance to Trinidad and Tobago to assist in removing sargassum seaweed throughout the coastlines. Officials added that Japan's cooperation in the health sector continues in partnership with the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPHA. They also said that they have noticed an increase in Japanese nationals venturing to Trinidad during the carnival season and is hoping to strengthen that tourism sector in both countries.
Around the globe, Japan and Ghana aligned in the pursuit of reforms at the UN Security Council.
Throughout the protest, though there were parts where it was relatively festive and calm, we also did experience some rather violent clashes and torrential rain, which had sent a lot of demonstrators and police forces running in all directions. But despite this, trade unions and the people I spoke to on the ground have said that overall this has been an incredibly historic protest. The turnout has been incredibly high. As you said, the latest trade union figures are saying over 2 million people across France, and in Paris alone around 550,000 people were marching. Now this is much higher than the turnout on May the 1st last year, but it's not quite record breaking like back in 2009. And amongst the people marching today, we saw that not only were the trade unions all united in protests against working conditions, working rights and the pension reforms, but they were also joined by many other groups like humanitarian, human rights groups, environmental groups and left-wing political parties like France Unbowed. So we've really seen a very united front today, the new positive energy and the strong sense of motivation which was not really present in the last 2 weeks since Macron had signed the bill.
And let's not forget, we have the latest in sports. James Harden inspired the Philadelphia 76ers to a thrilling 119-115 victory over the Boston Celtics in Game 1 of their Eastern Conference semifinals. Harden scored 45 points, including a three-pointer, to put the 76ers ahead with 8 seconds remaining at TD Garden in Boston. He was awesome, says Sixers coach Doc Rivers. He kept his cool, knew when to attack, knew when to give it up. Game 2 of the best of 7 series is at the same venue on Thursday. This ends the latest news update as produced by Triple N. I am your presenter Maxine Entwine, thanking you for joining us.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.
Where you go? Where you walk? What you say? When you talk? Where you go? Where you walk? What you say? When you talk?
It's a hungry world out there, with everybody scrambling to get a share. Wolves in sheep clothing, birds of prey waiting to swoop down on you, and there's no telling what they'll do.
Good morning again. And now I do have another guest. Good morning to Corporal Albert F. Do not ask the F name, Smart, who is operating from the Granville Police Station. And with me this morning, I have Justin Well. You cannot see him on camera somewhere, I don't know why, but he's here also. I have to introduce him this time, just to say good morning to everybody again. I'm not going to take that blows.
Claire, good morning to the listeners of Real FM. Not just listeners, viewers as well. Well, they're not seeing me, but they will be seeing.
They can hear you, yes.
Yeah.
And this morning with Corporal Smart, we're going to be talking about alcohol use and abuse. So it's the use and the abuse. So Corporal Smart, good morning, and how are you?
I'm okay. Good morning to the listening public, also the viewers, my hardworking colleagues at the Granville Police Station. Let me just start off by saying sympathy and my condolences to Odette Campbell and her immediate family, her friends and co-workers. We all know what you are going through, and it's a stressful time. You just have to thank God and ask Him for the strength.
Mm-hmm. That's true. We did divulge our sympathies to them earlier this morning because I heard it very early this morning before I came here. So on behalf of Real FM, we did extend our condolences to everybody. So, alcohol use and abuse. What is the definition of alcohol use?
Okay, in chemistry, the term alcohol refers to a class of chemical compound. One of these compounds is the active ingredients of alcohol beverages. It's called ethanol.
Mm-hmm.
In medicine, ethanol is a drug and a toxin. It changes the way the body functions. Oxford Dictionary definition of alcohol is a colorless liquid made by fermenting sugar or starch, a drink containing this liquid, example, wine, beer, whiskey, that can make people drunk.
Right. So that's the definition of alcohol. It has ethanol, and everybody hears about ethanol. It's in a lot of stuff, this ethanol thing. I think it's also in corn, the corn that we eat, they use it to make, is it fuel or something like that? And that's ethanol. So it is not something that we should really take into our bodies because it can do damage to us. So, as I said, you are Albert Smart. I know who you are. And your job description is what?
I'm a corporal of police attached to the Granville Police Station. My main functions there are dealing with reports.
Okay. How many years are you a policeman right now?
Since Jesus was a baby.
Okay, that's a long time, so you shouldn't be on earth right now. Really, how long are you a police officer?
32 years.
Wow. So are you on the edge of saying hasta la vista or no?
Yes.
You're on the edge of saying 33 years. Wow. How old are you?
I'm old as I look.
Because 33 years,
I'm old as
unless
I
you went to the force when you were like a baby, like you said, baby Jesus, when
18. I'm old as I look.
Oh, 18. Wow, that's a long time. Wow.
Yes. And it's a good experience.
Yes. So here's the first question I asked for you seriously. Why do you think people really drink?
People drink for a number of different reasons. To celebrate, for example, birthdays, to unwind, you feel like you are stressed, so you feel, well, you take a drink or something like that. Because some people like the taste, because it's a custom. For example, in some countries like Ireland, where people drink almost for the day. Some young people may feel peer pressure. Their friends encourage them, so they feel they should drink as well. Some people do it to feel grown up. The same reason they smoke. They feel a cigarette makes them look as a big man. Drinking makes them look as a big person.
Mm-hmm.
And some people drink simple because it's available to them. Happy hour. At a party. The advertisers of alcohol also promote drinking. And drinking may encourage people to relax and be social. People might benefit more from learning how to relax in the face of life pressures without alcohol.
That's true.
Like other drugs, alcohol produces euphoria, a feeling of general happiness. But it's just a false impression.
Because your troubles are still there the next day, yes?
It doesn't necessarily be the next day. It could be for years also. All depends what you get yourself into after drinking it.
So how would you describe a drink? When somebody says, I'm having a drink, how do you describe that?
Well, a drink differs in many different ways. Alcohol beverage contains a lot of water, right? Whiskey, vodka, rum, brandy may contain as much as 50% alcohol. So you hear something like 100% proof. For example, I think Clarkscoat is 138. So divide that in half, and that's the percentage of alcohol that is in it. The others is made up of water, preservative, color, and all those things in it. So people measure a drink. For example, somebody pour into a glass, and that's their drink. So it's like 1 ounce of liquor, whiskey, gin, brandy, rum, or vodka. That alcohol is equivalent to 1 beer. So some people say, I'm not drinking rum, I'm drinking beer. But if you get 5 drink from an 8 of rum,
How many beer is that?
5, because that's the percentage of alcohol that is in it. I think Caribbean Stag should have like 5 and 6% of alcohol. Shandy Carib has 1. All the others like brandy and others has 40 and those things and that. So that's the percentage of it. And funny, it's always important to read the labels on things. And after I stopped drinking, that's like 20 years ago, I started reading everything that I eat, what I bought. And funny, there is this bourbon biscuit with the 6 in it. And funny, when you read on it, it has alcohol liqueur in that biscuit. So some people find you feed your children on that, and you find, well, they might tend to get hyper. Not criticizing the company, but he has that in it, alcohol liqueur.
Okay. I get what you're saying about the label. Now, how do you read your label? What do you get when you read your labels on food and drinks and anything like that?
Well, one of the first things I look for is sodium.
Okay,
I look for the sodium, salt.
And the sugar?
Sugar.
Okay.
That's the 2 most important things I look for in it.
I thought I would have heard the expiry date.
Well, yeah, but if you buy something that's not expired, the way I've learned how to read label is that the first one is the highest amount of what's in it. So if you buy a drink and it's sugar, that is the highest amount. If you sell liquor and liquor is just 1 before the last, that means it doesn't have a whole lot in it. But the one that is first, second, and third, these are the deadly ones that you have to look forward to.
Okay.
So sugars and salt, yes. If it's high up on the list, then you go with that, because this is as much how much of the amount that is in it when it's on the top of the label. So it's a good thing, good for you to continue reading labels. Everybody should read labels.
Yeah. For example, if I go to buy salad dressing, I would look for the one with the least amount of salt.
But
They do have reduced salt ones also.
Yeah.
But you know what they did?
What?
A lot of us read the labels when we reach home with the goods.
No, I read from the store. I read from the store. Yes. Yeah.
Because sometimes the distance you have to go back to exchange it is
You're
too
just
much.
keeping it in the house. You have to read it from,
Yeah.
once you pick it up from the shelf,
Yeah.
first thing you do is to look at the labels and see the contents of the percentage of what is in it.
Yeah, that's what should
Everybody
happen.
should practice that to tell you the truth. Go ahead.
Okay. Something I want to just chip in here is the body defenses on alcohol. And this is what something people doesn't realize. Now, the first drink you take, you realize that burning sensation. This is the first body defense telling you, this is not good for me.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
This
Tell
is your
me
body.
more.
This is your body
Not
telling
that I
you.
drink, but I'm interested. Tell me.
This is your body telling you, this is not good for me. And this is why you find it so hard to like take big gulps of alcohol, like what you would take with water when you're thirsty.
That makes a lot of sense.
But some might say again, there are some that does not have a burning sensation.
That's when they abuse it for too long. So all the feelings, some of the feelings in the
It's
throat.
numbed.
It's numbed.
Yeah.
For example, I been to an event in Carriacou. I used to work up there. I've been to an event, and the Tombstone Feast, which is really beautiful. I love Carriacou. You know, hats off to Lefties and the others that keeping it real with everything else. String band, Maroon Festival, and everything else. And I saw they had like 45-gallon drum of rum and some tall igloo of water.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching this guy for close to an hour and he's not moving from any drum.
Oh, he's continually drinking?
Yeah, but you can't drink the whole drum. So
Some people
so
can.
this is what it is. Some people just
Feel that they can finish
yeah,
it.
yeah, you can't. You can't.
So here's another question. The other question: what are the effects of alcohol on your body?
The drug alcohol has both immediate and long-term effects on the body. The effects depend on the size of the doses of alcohol that you drink. For example, Claire, you might go somewhere and you drink one beer and you're satisfied, right? Just I might go and say, you see me, I go in there and I drink in 3 beer and I done. You're disciplined enough to handle that. Some other person say, you see me happy, I go in and drink as much as I could.
Okay.
As with other drugs, all of alcohol effects on the body occurs when the person drink it, no matter which effects the drinker is seeking. So you could be drinking to be happy, you could be drinking to be sad. It affects you the minute you drink it.
Mm.
Alcohol is a special molecule in many ways. It is extremely small. It moves
what
fast.
does that mean when you said extremely small?
I'm coming to it.
Okay.
It moves very fast and it can mix with both fatty and watery substances. This means it meets with no barriers in the body. It can go anywhere. Alcohol affects every cell in your body. Alcohol begins acting on your body the moment the person swallows it. From the stomach and intestine, it moves rapidly into the blood system. Does not have to be digested. From the blood, it enters every cell. So you see sometimes somebody drink and the first thing you find you start to sweat and you start to feel hot because it opens up your pores.
Oh, I see.
Within minutes after the first sip of a drink, ethanol is affecting the brain, the muscles, the nerves, the gland, the small blood vessels of your skin. It also passes through the liver. Now we all know the function of the liver. You want to tell me?
The liver, it filters everything that goes through your body per se. And I also know that the liver is the only organ in your body that can replenish itself if it gets things. But when you drink all this alcohol, after a while, your liver becomes, what? You have psoriasis of the liver. You cannot process You cannot process anything else. That's when you get liver disease. You have this bile coming out of your liver, and that's it. Am I hot?
Yes, you're right.
All
Because
right.
you know why? The liver can only handle about 1 drink an hour.
Huh?
Yes?
1 drink?
Yeah. The
For an
liver
hour?
can only handle about 1 drink for an hour.
So let me ask you, if I buy an 8 of rum, 8 is the make a flask.
Yeah.
Right?
And you'll get like 5 drinks.
Right. And I drink that 5 drink in succession like in 10 minutes.
Like in 10
that
minutes.
I am overloading my liver.
Overloading your liver, and you're giving your liver
Too much work
too
to
much
do.
work to do.
So with time, if I continue to drink an 8 of rum like let's say
Every day.
And let's say
within the same short period,
Right.
within the same period of time, you know what's gonna happen to you.
That means you're putting too much pressure on your liver.
Yeah. I just want to get a picture here to show you what I'm really talking about.
Wow.
But seriously, the way some people
This is the picture here. The first picture is actually of a good liver.
Okay.
Look at it good. That's your good liver. The second one is a damaged liver, and the third one is the one that is damaged beyond recovery.
Yeah, it looks like a rock that is cracked. Put this in front of your camera. Let me see something, Albert.
Can you see it?
Yes. So this...
I hope the viewers can see it.
I think they can. So this one here, the one to the extreme left is the good liver.
Yes.
The one in the middle is the one that starts getting
Yeah.
the bile build up and so. And
Yeah.
the one at the end is when the liver is totally disintegrated.
Yes.
That ain't looking good.
No, it doesn't.
It ain't looking good at all.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't at all.
So we see based on what the picture is showing here, from the stage of your good healthy liver,
Yeah.
then you start to move away from the healthy part of it, and it starts breaking down. And then when it reaches the stage where it cannot process the alcohol or anything else, it becomes like a broken up rock that somebody take a hammer and they break it up. And that means everything that's going through it is not being filtered properly.
Can't be filtered.
So this is when we get cirrhosis of the liver. And this is when you start getting, when you see some people that are drinking alcohol, and you see their eyes and so start getting really yellow, their skin is getting yellow, you know something is going on with their liver inside of them.
and they just develop a kind of face, you know.
Yeah, fatty face.
Okay. So go ahead with the effects of alcohol, because this is important for people, you know. We're not saying not to have a drink. We're not saying that at all. But what the corporal is saying, that if you continue drinking like an 8 of rum every day with less than an hour for one drink, this is what could happen to you.
But what also happens to, after by drinking so much and abusing it, some of them guys on them now, that little tumbler, you just have to pass it in front of the nose. And they don't even have to drink it.
Just I have a different perspective of that. I think when they drink all night and in the morning, they wake and they belch, back drunk again. So it's just like the fumes.
The fumes going back and make
the fumes just going back into the nostril. That's it. You know, like some people say, okay, to balance back the self, you must have but how come? You mean?
That is just
it's
adding
crazy,
more.
man.
Yeah?
And what's so funny about it is us hearing people say, me, I done it that, boy. After that experience last night, next weekend, same thing.
That's the discipline. You lack discipline.
Next weekend, same thing.
Yeah.
And I think what destroys them the most is not eating.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them not eating
It's not
properly.
eating properly and what you eat.
Yeah.
Now tell me, how can you eat rice and go drinking alcohol?
What happens to rice and alcohol?
Because you could also take rice and make rum. It ferments.
That's true.
So when the alcohol meets in your stomach with the rice, what you expect?
You're
to
getting
happen?
double drunk then. Wow. You know, that's something. Has anyone ever thought about that?
What you expect to happen?
Yeah, we're touching on some serious
No, that's
things
an
this
important
morning.
point, because if you hook rice ferments, like yeast and all this kind of thing. So if you're going to drink alcohol, and they said eat before you go, this is an important point for people, for drinkers to know, because if you're eating rice and then you go drinking, that means you're getting double work inside.
Yeah, you're multiplying the effects
Yes.
of the alcohol you will be
Because
consuming.
It's funny, I spoke to a guy who has been to prison, and he said that's how they make the wine. By putting rice into a big barrel, small container, and shake it over a few days.
Then moonshine.
He said the first drink he had of that, he felt like the back of his head falling off.
Because it's potent.
It's just rice and water, and it actually turns into alcohol. Some of them even use bread or the edge of the bread from the breaking pan and all these things. And them guys are really creative.
And that's totally moonshine. They're making this and have before all the proof in that one.
But this one doesn't have any proof.
All. Wow. No, but this one that you told me about the rice lock, and I'm floored, honestly, because I never thought so. If you tell me if you're gonna go drinking alcohol and you're gonna be drinking it for long, then eat fig and blugger and
you need
solid food. Rice and noodles and so is nah.
Don't do rice.
Okay. You hear that, Justin?
Yes. You know, a lot of people. I mean, we weren't aware of that.
No,
you know.
Just so you know.
Even if you know you could use the rice to make wine, but that thought of having to eat rice and then you'll be going out and then you're drinking the alcohol, it becomes cognizant now.
You should eat rice if you're going to drink.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, you'll be multiplying the effects of the alcohol you'll be consuming if you eat rice before you. So people at home, we know how to take particular note of that. Yeah, very important.
Alcohol affects the nervous system. It depresses some of the brain fine-tuning nerves, those that set limits and behavior.
That's what I was going to ask you next. How does it affect the brain?
Yeah, coming to it. A person slightly under the influence will talk or laugh loudly and gestures more widely after these controls are gone. Just I know you have seen that.
Yes.
Some fellas are really happy after they drink. and you're right here and they're shouting as if you're all up by the station.
But not just that. I know of some guys, right? Claire, when they don't drink,
quite as
well. Mellow.
Your butter don't melt in your mouth. But let it just take a drink, Claire.
It is also said that people that drink alcohol, when they are that quiet and they drink alcohol and they have something against you, it comes out. Because it affects that part of the brain that makes you want to say what is inside of you.
The loosening effect of the drink has given people the impression that alcohol is a stimulant. But it's not. It's a depressant. After drinking, a person might feel stimulated. However, the molecule itself never stimulates any process in the body. In fact, it acts like an anesthetic that is used to put people to sleep in a surgery.
Okay, let's back up. It acts as an anesthetic that put people to sleep. So why is it that they are not sleeping, they behave badly?
Because they hasn't drank enough yet.
Huh?
Because they hasn't drank enough yet.
Oh, okay.
But that point the corporal make, right, is really, really, really serious. And it has been proven that some people feel that alcohol is really a stimulant, especially, and let's be clear here, for sexual activities. They tend to believe that you tend to perform better when you use certain alcohol. But let me tell you what a man told me once. He said he had a couple of Guinnesses and things. He drink a few Guinness well. So he had to make a little turn with a lady. He said, watch, when he go to try to perform, nothing then come up. He said, why you use that? He come up with an excuse. He said, you know what, I see somebody pass there and after that make me feel really uncomfortable, so I can't really function. All the time was too much alcohol, too much of the Guinness. Yeah.
You see, alcohol is a poor choice of anesthetic, like heroin. The amount of alcohol that causes unconsciousness is close to the amount that causes death. It does not keep people under, and yet it can kill them. For example, I was reading an article of a gentleman that woke up in a cell in a police station in America. And when the police came to see him in the morning, he said, call my wife is going to bail me. So you killed your wife last night?
What? So you lose your consciousness, you lose everything. Is that when you drink too much or when you drink that your body cannot tolerate?
When you drink too much. Because you don't remember nothing that you do.
Okay.
But Claire, the effects of alcohol in our society has becoming more and more devastating. Most of the accidents and then we are having now on our nation's road is when folks come out to the big shows, the parties, and in the 4 in the morning, they all want to speed because the alcohol would impair on your judgment, really. And then you'll find you having a lot of this accident, you know what I mean? So I'm telling you, it's a sad way we're going with this alcohol.
Because I think one of the things that cause those accidents too, especially once you're drinking. So my advice to people is that if you're drinking, don't drive. If you cannot get a designated driver and you want to try to reach home, you need to put your seat straight up and put the glass over your head. Because once you have the glass down and you're feeling that sweet breeze, it's going to put you to sleep. Must put you
I
to
thought
sleep.
it was the other way around. If you open your window and you're driving, it keeps you okay.
No, the more uncomfortable it is, it's better for you. Must stay awake.
Okay.
But if you're driving and your glass down after a while, you're feeling in a bed. So obviously you close your eyes.
So let me ask you something. I don't drink. So you said when people drink too much, the alcohol can affect them in negative ways. So for me that don't drink, if I have one drink, can that just send me over the bend?
All depends on how your body accepts that drink.
So if my body never have alcohol in it, I'm a newbie at it.
Yeah.
And I go to somewhere and say, Jester, and I go to Jester, I say, Claire, take a drink, girl. And I'm like, nah, Jester. And he said, man, leave a little, take a drink. And I take the drink. And then I go overboard because I'm not used to drinking. That wouldn't do anything to me.
I'm not of the opinion that one drink is going to actually send you on board.
Okay.
Well, it depends on what drink too. You have some very strong alcoholic beverages. Yeah. Depend on what.
Okay.
To me.
All right. So alcohol drinking, it depends on what sort of alcohol you drink,
What
how
sort of
much of it you drink,
and how your body accepts
accept
the drink. Lower down, we're going to come to it. So with increasing doses of alcohol, behavior becomes unpredictable.
Erratic, they say.
People may act against all reason of judgment. A person may pick a fight, a person may become sexually aggressive, catch STD, and other long-term effects. Drinking can kill you in a lot of different ways. You could,
yes.
You could go drink, have sex, have it. You could go drink, drive into an accident, and that's it. You could go drink, pick a fight with somebody, that's it, dead. So some people think, well, alcohol is only going to affect you, but alcohol could actually cause you death. Really, and in a very, very silly way.
But the next thing what I realize, Claire, a lot of the female population, our females in our society, man, quite a lot of them have been consuming a lot of alcohol. And it's a very dangerous thing for women to be drinking alcohol of that certain, because I mean, and they regret it after certain things happen to them.
Well, you could say these other things.
Because,
some of them drink alcohol. They meet a guy that they know from now till from Adam. They go, they sleep with the guy, and next morning they're like, me sleep with you?
Yeah.
The alcohol did that to you.
Yeah, there was a situation once there where a guy was after a lady, man, you know, and she was giving him some real rough time. She used to be talking to him, but he wasn't having his way around at all. But guess what? She ended up drinking alcohol at a certain time. You know, they've been together and she been under the influence of real strong alcohol. And that is when
but let me ask you something. But did the guy, I know that's not what we're talking about now, but did the guy use he wasn't drunk, he saw her drunk, and this is why should he have just moved away and let us be sober and make a decision still out? Because this is taking advantage of somebody in a situation.
No, but Claire, not all of us would think like that. You understand? A man might think, wow, boy, I've been having this difficulty so long trying to get her. No, I tell you, who will think like that? You understand? It's just the reality of the situation. At the same time, remember, they both were together consciously she was there. But by drinking,
she got drunk,
Claire, do you eat shark?
Me? No, not knowingly.
But that doesn't mean if you fall in the ocean, a shark would need you.
Well, that's true.
So with regards to what Jester is saying, and the response you give is that everybody is not the same.
I know, I understand.
And expecting people to treat you the same way you treat them. In this modern day and age, this is totally impossible. Don't look for it.
I guess I'm living out of the two because I always believe that the way I treat people, I expect people to treat me that way. But as you say, move along.
Okay. Other effects. Alcohol causes ulcer of the stomach and intestine. Shrinkage in body muscle, including your heart muscle. Abnormal changes in the blood. Kidney, bladder, and gland damage, skin rash and sores. Shrinkage and damage of testicles, causing men to become feminine and develop sexual problem. This is the situation what Jester spoke about.
Say that again.
Shrinkage
and become feminine.
Shrinkage and damage of testicles, causing men to become feminine and develop sexual problems. Failure of ovaries and menstrual problems in women, lung damages leading to flu, pneumonia, and tuberculosis, psychological depression, and mental illness.
Okay, so
these are some of the effects
of alcohol. So let me ask a question. We have all these damages that can be done to our body by drinking alcohol. It is true that most of us are not disciplined enough to know when to stop or even to start at all. Why do we have so many variety of alcohol on the market then? If you can do that to us as human beings, do that to our body. Imagine you and him, man, and all you turning woman slowly. What is this?
Business.
Yeah, business. I agree.
You don't have to have a permit or something to purchase alcohol. It is not illegal. Some people sell it to people at any age. Some people, like underage people, will get older persons to purchase it for them. So there is no limit or no secure way to say, hey, you must be this or you must be that. For example, Claire, years ago when I was in Miami, there are shops that will not sell you alcohol on Sundays until after 12.
Yeah.
Before that, they would not sell it. Alcohol can be purchased around every single corner. And lately, I don't know if you has been looking at what's been going on in Grenada, is that there are little shops popping up everywhere.
Like a kiosk, yeah.
And anybody could drink it.
So, okay, you see all of this. Is there a law against this, or can there be a law against that? Because we are losing our young people. Because young people, like Jester said, the accidents that are taking place, not people like me, not people like you.
Not old people.
Not old people like us. It's the young people that are doing so. Can there be a law against, I don't know how to put it, because if something doesn't happen soon enough, the amount of people that we have in Grenada is going to get less drastically. Because there's so many accidents on the nation's road, as you say, when you come from the concerts and you come from the parties, and so some of them were even in the fighting and all that. You lose your life in all different ways under the influence of alcohol. Is there a law that could be made?
But here is my concern too, because I know, not just from this program, I know there are certain sectors of the police force have been going around in the past, and they making people aware of the abuse and the negative effects of alcohol. But here, where my concern lies, because we seem to be defeating the purpose at the same time. And we're starting with, let's say, our media houses and centers. While that is happening, what they're trying to do, we have alcohol being advertised during prime time news. How it just does not,
it does not
we're
equate.
defeating the same purpose that we are trying to. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter.
But that's what they say, drink responsibly. But who is? Who is?
Imagine I have my little 10-year-old son watching news, 7 o'clock news. And while he's up watching news, what you see advertising? Hardcore alcohol. I mean, that doesn't make sense.
But what are we doing about it?
Claire, I think, or in my opinion, I think it all starts with you. It all starts with you. I mean, we could make laws, we could do so much of different things, but it all starts with the person. You know, I know of people that say, hey, I'm going there, I'm having 1 drink. I'm going there, I'm having 2 drinks, and that's it. Discipline enough.
Yeah, discipline. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you see, the thing about it, not all of us has that disciplinary thing in our body.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of us are easily misled. Like when you go out with your buddies and so, they, like you should know, everybody should know what their body can accept and manage, right? Mm-hmm. And Justin might be able to say, drink 3 beers, while you might drink
6.
And I could drink only half.
Yeah, but just to get drunk, not me.
Right, because your body can tolerate more than his. But in cases like that, what I'm saying is, if this is the situation, we know how much our body can take. But at the same time, there are people that cannot handle the amount of alcohol that they consume, and they go behind the wheel, right? They go behind the wheel and they drive off. Or I could make it mine. My eyes is as clear as day, they're telling you. Alcohol does inhibit everybody's motions or so. But my biggest thing is, couple smart is, because your body is so relaxed after drinking alcohol and you're driving, it loosens you. When you have an accident, you may kill me and you may kill Justin, nothing happens to you. That's where I think the law should be coming in. Because I look at this as manslaughter.
Yeah.
Because you already know to yourself that you should not go behind that wheel because you drank too much. You passed your limit. So, but I don't know if anything happens. Please tell me if something happens.
That's what you would be charged for.
Manslaughter.
Yeah.
But isn't
and in some cases, and what people don't understand about alcohol is that if you drink excessive alcohol and something should happen to you,
mm-hmm.
and you go to the hospital, they cannot treat you.
No, because your body has too much alcohol.
Because your body has too much alcohol.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you could die there. Because you die from drunkenness or drowning of alcohol. Mm-hmm. Because they cannot give you any medication at all.
None at all.
None. It is true that even when you have a cold and you go to get some test done at the hospital, if you have a cold, they would not do the test because if you take medication or antibiotics, it's going to hamper you somewhere.
Hamper the results.
Yes. So it's the same as alcohol. So why aren't we getting it? Everybody you hear, well, murder the alcohol on the weekend. Or murder. How could you murder alcohol when it's you that go dead in the end?
You see, I hit it hard.
Yeah. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Alcohol waiting for you. Alcohol doesn't feel anything.
No.
You is the person that is actually destroying your body, not the alcohol. You understand? Like an old guy said once, he said, you see the color of the cork on the bottle?
Mm-hmm.
Red. Red means danger.
Okay.
He said that's the only one inside. He said it's not like cigarette that's going to tell you cigarette smoking is dangerous to your health. He said this one, you have to figure it out yourself because the color of the bottle says red.
Yeah, but it also says drink responsibly.
Doesn't mark on the bottle.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't mark that on the bottle.
Here is the other question, a very important one. Can one recover from alcohol?
Time. Only time.
Some of us don't have all the time.
You see, if you drink, right, and we will tie in that with hangovers, you drink, and let's say you decide, hey, I had enough. That's cool. But if you drink and you get drunk, remember the time span you've been drinking for. So if you've been drinking 3, 4, 5 hours, there's no way you could say, well, I'll get back sober in a while. No. You have to wait on time. Time has to pass. There is nothing you could do. Absolutely nothing. You hear people saying, well, eat fig and saltfish or drink waters.
Tomato juice.
That's... But sweet juice is sugar again.
No, tomato. Tomato juice is not sweet at all.
So, this is what it is. Nothing nothing actually can speed up the process of time to get you to actually say, well, hey, I am feeling better. You eat, you go back and sleep, you go in the river and bathe, you go in the sea and bathe, you sit down in the shower, you're still going to remain the same.
We have a
you
call.
only have to wait on time.
Let's take a call. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, my dear.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay so far. Listening to you guys there, regarding the advertisement, I think in England, tobacco and alcohol, it cannot be freely advertised as we have it here, you know? But it come here, I don't know if you say it's a kind of, I don't know if you should use the word culture, or the companies, the stations and everything really doesn't have any sponsorship. So that is where they make the money. So it's like where you draw the line. I mean, we all know tobacco and alcohol is not good for no one. Yeah? But it's where, if we start to draw the line, it's like where we drawing the line. That's the next thing. Yeah?
Well,
that is the question of that. It's not going to happen. Yeah? Always we go in major sponsors are alcohol companies. Yeah?
I didn't hear the last part of what you said. Can you say it again, please?
Yes, actually the major part of many of our sponsorship is alcohol companies. Yeah?
Yes.
So, and that is, you know, is, as I said before, I don't know if it's a cultural or habit, but people have to be fully educated on those terms where you need to, how you need to use alcohol, and how this thing will be, you know, how you should advertise it or not, you know. It's tricky in the Caribbean, it is honestly, but I know for sure in England, and if you look at many other American channels, alcohol is not easy being advertised even as much as tobacco.
That's quite true.
Yeah, but educational aspect of that to our people is more important before anything of that such is implemented.
Thank you so much. You too.
Thank you. But Claire, as the officer alluded to before, it's business. When you ask him the question, knowing of all the effects, why is it that it's still happening? And he said because of business, and that is the same thing the point the caller is making there.
Hold that point. I'm taking a commercial break and we shall discuss that when we come back.
M&M Hardware Limited, Hope St. Andrew and Dusty Highway St. George. Shop conveniently for all your building materials including plumbing, electrical, lumber, cement, steel and much more. We manufacture roofing sheets available in 11 colors, aluminum windows, doors, insect screens and hurricane shutters. Installation services are available for all our manufactured products. Our opening hours are Monday to Friday 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturdays 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. M&M Hardware Limited. Come on in and experience our affordable prices, or call us 444-6757 or 440-6757 Dusty Highway. Email us at info@mahonhardware.com or mnmdusty@mahonhardware.com. M&M Hardware, foundation to roof. Let's build together.
Ozone really gets it clean. Get with the Ozone family line of products. Ozone liquid laundry detergent, perfect for your semi or fully automatic washing machines, yet suitable for your hand wash, soft on your hands. Ozone disinfectant cleaner. It's the most powerful disinfectant and cleaner with a long-lasting fresh scent. Tackles every job around the house or office. Ozone detergent powder and ultra soft fabric softener gets your clothes clean with a natural freshness. Keeps your colors bright. Choose from the wonderful scents: soft flower, ocean breeze, and the new aloe vera. Keep your kitchen sparkling clean with the Ozone dishwashing liquid, Ozone sponges, and cleaning cloth. Ozone toilet bowl cleaner removes lime scale and kills germs while giving your toilet a refreshing scent. Ozone really gets it clean. Marketed and distributed by Calico, Frequente St. George's, and are available at shops and supermarkets nationwide.
Now more than ever, Flow is working hard to keep you connected to the things that matter most: your family, your work, and your favorite entertainment. We are also providing Flow Study free of charge so students can stay connected and up to date with their schoolwork. And because your safety is our highest priority, you can manage your account from the safety of your own home through the MyFlow app. We are here for you, keeping you connected.
Boy, they gonna fly with kite now. The wind picking up.
I'm coming. Karim, what you doing?
Fly my kite.
Yeah, but not here. You can't fly kite near power lines, boy.
Why not? The wind good.
Because mommy say kite threads conduct electricity.
Yeah, kite. He's right. If your kite gets stuck in power lines, it can cause power outages, or even worse, it can get shocked.
Come, they gonna fly them in the pasture.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Gwen.
And we are back. You know, time flies when you're having fun. It is almost 10 o'clock. It's 10 minutes to the hour. And we were talking about business and the alcohol and everything like that, based on what the caller says about the culture. But we have such a short space of time to talk about the culture. So, Corporal Smart, in the next couple of weeks or so, I'll get you to come back to continue this program on alcohol and how you manage yourself, manage stress and everything under the same topic of alcoholism. But before you go, hangover. When somebody drink to their heart's desire and then some, and then you get a hangover, how do you get rid of the hangover and how long does it take for you to come out under that stupor of alcohol?
Okay. First of all, just let me explain what really hangover is. It's the awful feeling, the headache, the pain, the unpleasant sensation in the mouth, the nausea that the drinker suffers like the following morning, right? Hangovers are caused by several factors. One of the toxic effects of the ingredients other than alcohol in an alcoholic beverage is called congeners. Mm-hmm. Now, the congeners in gin, different. The congeners in whiskey, different. The congeners in rum, different, right? So it's how it affects you. Some people are more sensitive to the congeners in some alcohol as to others. Mm-hmm. So it comes back to what we were saying, like, you take your one drink, I take 6, Jester take 3. But the congeners affect Jester more. So he's going to be more under the influence than you and me. Mm-hmm. It's because of how my body relate to it. More important is the type of congeners bringing on the hangover.
What types are there? Because
of the amount of alcohol that you drink, mm-hmm. right? And how your body treats it, or how your body could relate to it. For example, somebody who is big, you find they could drink a lot. So it take a while before the congeners decide to affect him. Okay. So you drink. And what you actually do is you dehydrate the brain. That's one of the second factors. You dehydrate the brain. So the brain sort of shrink because it dehydrates. Okay. So the following day now, what starts happening to you is that your body starts becoming back to normal. So your brain starts coming back to normal. So obviously it's going to give you a headache because it's
expanding now.
It's coming back to its normal size. Mm-hmm. So this is what is going to give you the headache.
People, are you hearing this? Okay.
Another reason for hangovers is the effect of a formula that's called formaldehyde.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the one they put on dead people.
Clay, you're very intelligent. I know that. You don't have to try to embarrass me.
No, not that people.
You understand? But
it's in toothpaste also, you know.
Yes. A chemical formula as a fluid biology lab used to preserve dead animals. Formaldehydes form when the body breaks down alcohol. Nothing helps the headache, pain, the nausea, the taste in the mouth, the hangover. Popular remedies such as vitamin, tranquilizers, aspirin, drinking more alcohol, breathing poor oxygen, exercising, eating or drinking something awful do not work. The long-term cure, you just have to wait.
Just take the pressure.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So don't matter, as I said earlier, don't matter what you drink, don't matter what you eat, it's not going to go away. You have to wait only on time.
Some people
And you can't fast forward the clock.
Some people gives you a Coke and an aspirin.
That's just a joke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people taking Coke and aspirin to come to work the next day from alcohol drinking.
But how long do they last?
I don't know. I don't pay attention because they know me that drinks.
Claire, I see people do so much of things. Vomit, all these things.
Doesn't work.
No.
Because it's in your system.
It's in your
stream.
system.
Mm-hmm.
It's in your blood. Remember, alcohol goes straight. The liver doesn't basically has to process it or do much with it. It goes straight to your bloodstream. So it's in your blood.
But a hangover is really not a nice feeling.
You get hangover before?
Yeah, and the thing is, and if you've been having like a drink, you have to able to pick a drink that you know you wouldn't have the effect of a hangover, because it is not a nice feeling. I could tell anybody. You almost feel like sometimes you want to pass out from hangovers.
Hit next one. We have 5 more minutes. 4 more minutes.
Okay, I'm just going to run through some of the effect alcohol has on your brain.
Mm-hmm.
Alcohol is rightly termed an anesthetic.
Okay.
Because it put the brain centers to sleep in the following orders. I need to show you this picture before I continue.
Okay, put it in front of your camera. Everybody can see that. Brain going to sleep with that red thing pointing there. Okay, let's go.
So the first part of your brain that the alcohol effect is the frontal lobe. That's the reasoning and judgment centers.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think you're driving 5 miles an hour, you're actually driving 50 miles an hour.
Excessively.
Because you have no judgment, no reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
Then the speech and vision centers. Just say, you see like when the man trying to go down the step after he drink?
Yeah.
And he fall? Because the step way low down, but he sees the step
high.
Yeah.
high up. Then the center that governs muscular control. And finally, the deep centers that control respiration. You see your breathing, person breathing heavy. And you see all these things I just read. You see that from people every single day.
So which one that makes you stagger when you walk? Which part?
Muscular control.
Oh, okay.
That's the center that governs the muscular control.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Another all effect of alcohol is that it sedate. I don't think you want to hear about.
Yeah, tell me, because I don't drink.
Another all effect of alcohol is that it sedate the cerebral cortex where conscious learning takes place.
Mm-hmm.
That cortex is in the largest part of your brain. It's inside of the largest part of your brain. So it sedate that part. So tell me, where conscious learning takes place?
In that part of your brain?
Yes. So you sedate that part.
Mm-hmm. Put you to sleep there too?
Yeah. Alcohol disturbs the sleep and reduces the ability to learn and perform mental tasks. The brain normally helps you to shut out distraction. Alcohol put that functions to sleep. In addition, alcohol reduces the brain ability to inhabit the awareness and expressions of emotions. For example, I see people drink and they're crying, and then you're asking them what they're crying for.
They're happy they're crying.
They don't really know. Does the person express his love, joy, sorrow, anger, hatred more easily than before?
We have one call. I don't know if you want to take it before we go.
Yep.
The news might... Oh no, the news is going to cut off in thing. I wonder if we could get 5 more minutes to do this.
You have a call?
Yeah, but it's going to cut off on the... Because we have made news coming up Friday. Let's see.
Okay.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, CJ.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, I just want to add a little bit of a little, I should say, information. The officer is doing a great job.
Okay, let me tell you, stay on the line. Listen to me, stay on the line. I've got news right now, and then I'll just take 5 more minutes to get things all cleared up. Okay, is that okay? Or you want to call back in 2 minutes? Okay, thank you. All right. Okay.
All right.
Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.
This is the latest news update produced by Triple N. Details when we get back.
M&M Hardware Limited, Hope St. Andrew and Dusty Highway St. George. Shop conveniently for all your building materials including plumbing, electrical, lumber, cement, steel and much more. We manufacture roofing sheets available in 11 colors, aluminum windows, doors, insect screens and hurricane shutters. Installation services are available for all our manufactured products. Our opening hours are Monday to Friday 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturdays 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. M&M Hardware Limited. Come on in and experience our affordable prices, or call us 444-6757 or 440-6757 Dusty Highway. Email us at info@mahonhardware.com or mnmdusty@mahonhardware.com. M&M Hardware, foundation to roof. Let's build together.
Welcome back. Locally, Grenada is on the home stretch of the National Soil Survey. In the region, in St. Lucia, Prime Minister continues to defend his new security and health levy in the face of public criticism of the tax. We get more in this report.
Prime Minister Philippe J. Pierre, in response to public criticism about the 2.5% health and security levy outlined in his budget address, further explained to reporters outside of Parliament why the levy should not be misconstrued for an increase in the value-added tax. The Prime Minister further emphasized that food and medicinal items have been exempt from this levy.
I was clear. There is a health and security levy of 2.5% on goods except food, medicines, medical equipment, and there's a removal of the 12.5% VAT on building materials, which I listed. We have to go back to Parliament to change the law, particularly the VAT law. So when we go into Parliament, before July the 3rd, there's going to be a full and a complete list of what I said in Parliament.
Prime Minister Pierre insists that most of the criticism about this levy is coming from the opposition United Workers' Party, as he asserted that the 2.5% levy will have a significant impact on the various challenges currently plaguing the sectors of health and national security.
The levy is a health and security levy which will be used for health and security issues. And remember, I did not say a black box. Let me tell you why, if I was the opposition, I would be annoyed. I would be annoyed if I spent 5 years in government, I didn't get one hotel built. If I spent 5 years in government, I found a country where I spent $300,000 on a building and it never got complete. If I was the opposition and I signed an airport, I gave a contract for a direct award contract, an airport that will cost a country $1 billion, I would be very annoyed. So I am happy that they're annoyed. They have to be annoyed. If I were there, I would be annoyed also.
Further pronouncements on the 2.5% health and security levy, as well as the VAT-exempt construction materials, will be made in the coming weeks.
Around the globe, Sudan's former prime minister has warned the country staring at worst civil war. Here are the details.
Sudan's former Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok has issued a red flag over the ongoing violence in his country, warning the clashes could deteriorate into one of the worst civil wars than those experienced in Syria and Libya if the fighting is not stopped. The former premier is now calling for a truce between the warring generals from both the Sudanese army and the rapid support forces. The former leader further insisted that there should be a defined role of the military in Sudan rather than engaging in politics and the leadership of the country. Hamdok was answering questions for Mo Ibrahim, who is the founder of the Ibrahim Foundation, on Saturday, when he also called for a strong and unified approach by the international community in helping end the conflict that poses greater risk to millions of Sudanese. The fighting is a culmination of a power struggle between Army Chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and Mohammed Hamdan Daglo, head of the RSF and also known as Hemeti. The violence has killed at least 526 people and wounded about 4,600, according to the health ministry.
And in sports, Jimmy Butler and Gabe Vincent lift Miami past New York Knicks in gritty Game 1 win. The Miami Heat extended their winning streak in the playoff to 4 games with their come-from-behind victory over the Knicks in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Miami recorded a 108-101 win over New York on Sunday to grab a 1-0 lead in the best-of-7 series. This ends the latest update of news. Thank you for listening.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.
Where you walk, what you say, when you talk, where you go, where you walk, what you say.
Now I did ask for 5 minutes. One is just going to be 5 minutes. So talk about your thing and let's go.
Okay.
You're talking about hangovers and what he does and when we drive in and so.
The last part I want to talk about is the recovery from alcohol. And Claire, I'm asking you a question. I hope you could answer it. What do you think is the first thing you need to do to recover from alcohol?
Go to therapy.
That's the second one.
The first one, admit to yourself that you have a problem.
That's the third one.
Well, I don't know what the first one is then.
Trust God.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's it. We all grew up in, know about God, and so that's a given. But the other one is admit to yourself that you have a problem and then seek help.
The first thing you need to do is to trust God. Go to God with your problem. Mm-hmm. And without Him, you cannot change it. You're not going to do it alone. Mm-hmm. Second one is that you must admit that you have a problem. That's the only way. If you doesn't admit that you have a problem and you need help, it's not going to work. Mm-hmm. You need to stop. And not only stop, stop. You can't say, well, I stopped for a week, I stopped for 2 months, I'm trying, and you go back. No, you need to stop and stop. And to the listeners out there, I'm giving you my number. Anybody you know has a problem with alcohol and need help, they can always call me. I can offer my assistance. But you have to understand that I cannot do it alone. You must do it together with God and yourself. It all starts with you. The person has to understand that, hey, look, I have a problem and I want to change. This is destroying my family. This is getting me into trouble and all these things. And then my number is 416-5082. If you call and I'm busy, I will return your call because I understand the importance of it.
All right.
Thank you all listeners. I'll be back again sometime soon.
Thank you very much, Corporal Smart, for taking the time off to come to us and talk to us on alcohol. I have the callers back on. I'm going to give her 1 minute to state her case and then we have to leave. Good morning. Hello?
Hi, Claire, I'm back.
Yes, and we have to make it really quick, so let's go.
Okay, well, the officer took the saying that I was just about to voice. This thing is also a spiritual matter. Mm-hmm. And I think the officer, he has some thing about him, about God. We should start in the school, mm-hmm. in the secondary schools from 1 to from 5. Let him or whoever is in charge of that kind of department to go talk to the young people, especially the boys. The girls is taking on also. Let me go one more step. I should say it should begin in the home. And the word of God is our guide and our principle for our living. Ask the officer, go into the book of Proverbs. And that book has everything it has to say about the wine, which we will talk today as the alcohol.
Right.
Claire, I would also like to talk to you behind the scenes. Could you give me a call after? There's something personally I want to share with you.
Okay, can I have your phone number? Okay.
You could give me a call later on.
Oh, okay.
That's the number I'm calling on. You could call me back.
I'm not seeing the number. It's just your name that is coming up. So hold on a second for me, okay? Hold on there.
Okay.
Thanks. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Albert. I could call you Albert. Now the program is over. Thank you, Jester, for coming here. And thank you so very much, and I'll be talking to you soon again.
You're welcome.
Take care. Bye-bye.
So just how much you feel to bring from
Trying to survive, that is how it is today. So as you go along your way, you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Where you go when you're walking. You got to be careful. What you say when you're talking. You got to be careful. You got to be careful, careful.
M&M Hardware Limited, Hope St. Andrew and Dusty Highway St. George. Shop conveniently for all your building materials including plumbing, electrical, lumber, cement, steel and much more. We manufacture roofing sheets available in 11 colors, aluminum windows, doors, insect screens and hurricane shutters. Installation services are available for all our manufactured products. Our opening hours are Monday to Friday 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturdays 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. M&M Hardware Limited. Come on in and experience our affordable prices, or call us 444-6757 or 440-6757 Dusty Highway. Email us at info@mahonhardware.com or mnmdusty@mahonhardware.com. M&M Hardware, foundation to roof. Let's build together.
Ozone really gets it clean. Get with the Ozone family line of products. Ozone liquid laundry detergent, perfect for your semi or fully automatic washing machines, yet suitable for your hand wash, soft on your hands. Ozone disinfectant cleaner. It's the most powerful disinfectant and cleaner with a long-lasting fresh scent. Tackles every job around the house or office. Ozone detergent powder and ultra soft fabric softener gets your clothes clean with a natural freshness. Keeps your colors bright. Choose from the wonderful scents: soft flower, ocean breeze, and the new aloe vera. Keep your kitchen sparkling clean with the Ozone